That on. There we go. Morning, everyone. How's it going, team? How's it going? Okay, so let's go over everything. We're getting some news coming through this morning. Trump talking this morning, contradicting what Iran are saying. So just be careful. I think it's going to be hard for the market to price in exacts, which is what the market likes to do. We like certainty. We don't have much certainty. What we heard this morning is Iran has to send somewhere. They need to negotiate. We're in a strong power. We're in control of Hormuz. What Iran has said is, we're not sending anyone. We're not negotiating. They've broken the ceasefire, yada, yada, yada. So back and forth continues. The lies from probably both parties, in all honesty, continues. And we're just going to have to see what's what. Who knows at this point, folks? I look at this daily and I just think, well, we have priced in. This is us pricing in no more war, and oil coming back down. If that ends up not being the case, and we end up, having a bigger conflict than we've already had, then I think you see a fairly drastic reprice of this. All right. So on the daily, what do we have at the moment? We have a look above and fail. Right, that can all change. I'm going to wait for this New York Open, but at the moment you can see all-time highs were set on Friday. We've peaked above that and we've traded right back inside the range. So we're trading inside of Monday right now. You can see Monday's high right here. Right, and this is where we're trading back inside, which means we're going to have to watch value areas and support mechanisms based on Monday. All right, so we're watching based on Monday and based on the previous week, because at the moment we've looked above and fell. So there's really two options. Either we're going to find a bid and have continuation. We do have room with the daily Bollinger and the 5-day moving up, or we're going to have a look above and fail and come back into this range created here and chop around in here. And if we get a failure under here, it will either be look below and fail, or we're going to see some bigger mean reversion back down. Right, so let's have a look on the hourlies, see how we get there and what this is looking like. All right, I'm just going to move this up for you guys. All right, so this is current developing week. This is overnight session on the right currently. All right, you can see, again, look above and fail over the all-time highs and failing so far. So we can mark out probably this level here. So we're just aware of where the market has failed to hold a bid so far, even on a retest. Okay, and we're coming back down into overnight point of control. We're starting to lose overnight point of control. So what are we going to watch? Well, yesterday's levels, all right, back tests of yesterday's levels. If this is going to be a look above and fail, we've probably missed the opportunity right now. It would have been short up here. And we're going to watch this overnight level, previous day value area high, previous day point of control, previous day value area low, all right? If we cannot, I'll make this really simple, if we cannot sustain a bid at previous day value area high or previous day point of control or above is also good, then we fail to be bullish. All right, it has a chance to hold a bid somewhere around here to try and go back for highs. All right, so this kind of move here, we've done a bit of a W. All right, this kind of move here, if it can't do that, all right, if we start to fail these levels here, then you're going to see downside pressure, because we would have taken liquidity from one side, and then you're looking at possibly down to value area low from point of control and value area high. Remember, this is yesterday's profile. So if we start churning that would be your churn. And under here, weakness back down to value area high from last week, like we did yesterday and overnight. And I would say potentially still got this naked POC down here. We can move this down a bit, slightly wrong. In fact, let me just get rid of these and then move that down. Okay. Under this is where, for me, the backside of the move starts. All right, so a true failing short starts under here, because you can see we're kind of thin. So shorts under here is where I'm more willing to get heavy if we sort of do one of these. But until then, technically we're bullish on pullbacks. All right, so technically we're looking at this. All right, here, if we start to fail and churn these, then we can play the edge to edge. Fade this to here, buy that dip to there, and if this fails, then we can think about these moves down here. So I'm willing to play both sides of the tape. I'm also very, very aware of headlines this morning, very aware that we've got news coming throughout the day. 10 o'clock, we've got business inventories and pending home sales, but I'm more concerned about more tweets from Trump or JD Vance going to Pakistan or Islamabad and apparently Iran not sending people, and who knows what could be said then at that point. If you want to have the GEX levels, we can just put these out here. We're coming into cool walls. We're already above a big one pre-market. 27,080 is where a lot of the volume is right now. Higher volume node to the downside is going to be lying right at just under previous day's value area low down here, 625. So that's kind of the rotation at the moment. Not paying too much attention to those in between. They're a little bit messy right now, I would say. Just make sure you guys can see all this. All right, moving up. Lower time frame, you can see this failure up here. This was the look above and fail. As we come back in the range, we're going to see the same kind of thing across the indexes right now, all-time highs. ES might have just missed it. It did. So we had divergence at the high. ES missing that all-time high. You can see here is your cool wall. All right, on ES, that's cool wall number 1, and cool wall number 2 is up at 210. Not really paying too much attention to these in between. There's not that much volume. So those are the big ones. So they're failing the cool wall. If we fail under here, then there's that rotation to fill the gap and VWAP and higher volume node, and then we see if we find a bid there or not. Unfortunately, where we're going to open up is not ideal. We would have been better off to open up here looking for that move, or open up down here looking for that move. So we're going to have to probably let it shake out for a minute at the open. VIX and spiders, let's go through these very quickly. Spiders, same thing, just make sure there's no divergence. No, exactly the same, not taking out the high. Potential gap fill here if they cannot hold these prints above sort of 10s from yesterday. QQQ very similar, except we took out the high, coming back in to these 48 levels. All right, these are the levels. If they can't hold this print, we probably fill this gap and then see if it finds a bid there. Dixie, back to the top of the range. All right, we'll see if it has failure up here and comes back down inside. If it does see that, then the market probably turns bullish. If we start breaking out on war news, then the market obviously sells back in. VIX back in elevated levels at 19s. You can see this big gap down, gap up, now holding the 19s. So if we can print above 19s, it's going to want to try and get to. Okay, now what is this pre-market move? Sorry, I'm just watching Bookmap go mental. Is that MOC? MOO, sorry. We'll see if we reclaim 19s for that drift back upside. Right, let's go through the mag. So Apple printing back up after that news yesterday. Tim Cook moving down off CEO, will stay on the board, but is no longer CEO. New CEO, and we bid straight back up into the range. So I'd probably ignore most of that wick. That was a buy opportunity. We'll just see how they act in here. If we see sell pressure, it will rotate down. Otherwise, you can see where it's trying to get to. But gapping down off yesterday, we'll see if that's the theme for the mag. Amazon, we can delete this now. That is a big old gap up. Was this Anthropic news, AI news? I seem to remember. So there you go, Anthropic. Yeah, it was after hours yesterday. So big gap up there on Amazon. We'll see if that can hold its gains back into this same level from Friday last week. So can it hold its gains and break out on Amazon is the question. Goog, all right, coming back in a little bit. Remember, this has been on a monstrous run. You're starting to see failure to break out of the high here. Now, this can still build liquidity and have another attempt, but if it loses the bid here, you'd expect some of these stops to get taken. So Goog, one to watch here for a bit of a mean reversion move, I would say, coming back in. Meta, same kind of story. It's been on a tear. Remember, we've been long Meta, but starting to see failing to follow through here, right? And starting to look more and more like the backside of the move. So if we start failing on attempts, this will develop into a shelf here into sort of 67, 667s. You can see that wash down to 660s and maybe deeper if they really want. Microsoft, remember, a lot of these have moved very fast, very high, very fast. So open to mean reversions in them. Microsoft, slight gap up or opening up neutral, same kind of thing. All right, you're starting to see liquidity build out here, failing to follow through to make a new high, but we are still basing, so technically still bullish. I'd see potentially a retest of this coming this week, and then we'll see what's what. Nvidia over the 200s, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. That's the strongest out of the bunch right now. W shape, held, base, over 200s. Remember, liquidity's up here at 203s, 205s. That's where it's trying to get going. So we'll see if it can hold a bid at PDC or sort of 201.50s. Tesla, Yeah, that's starting to get a bit elevated and dangerous. So you can see big drive on Wednesday, big drive on Friday, failing to follow through Monday, failure to make a new high, building out liquidity here. It will make its decision. Probably builds here for a while. And if we're bullish, it's going to go back for the highs. If it loses the bid at 380, down we come again. Same across the board. A lot of the software names kind of similar. Starting to see failing to make a new high. This seems to be the common thing right now, failing to make a new high. Let's just have a look if cars hit 700 yet. There's a big wall up there. Yes, look at that. All right, 700. We'll see how much more juice it's got. This thing's just going to keep gamma squeezing. All the time people keep trying to short it, they're going to keep getting caught. Well, there was a big wall at 700, so you got that move pre-market, a little bit over it. We'll see. People who are smart will be waiting for first red day setup on this. You just got to wait for it to come. It might not be today. That is pretty much it, folks. That is pretty much it. Might just mark this out. Looks a bit messy out here, doesn't it, at the moment? Into the chop and slot. All right, so let's see. We'll see. Probably I'm going to have to let this develop for a moment. Not really got the best entry here if we're going to look for backside or if we're going to buy dips. So dips, we'll need to see it come back in. Previous day value area high, previous day close, previous day point of control. We lose that. There's a fade back down to previous day value area low. We can watch overnight value area high. And if we're going to pump at the open and fail, we have this block up here and overnight value area high. So we can watch both of those levels. I'm going to get rid of this now. And we'll just see what comes here. Not in a rush this morning. We haven't got super clean setup like we had yesterday for the open. Let's just see. Yeah, I'm slightly concerned about the headline swirling today, I'll be honest. I think you've got to be very careful with your stops today and with your sizing. Who knows if JD comes out and makes a press conference in Islamabad, or, you know, what are the implications if Iran doesn't send anyone? So many variables right now, folks. It's a very, very washy kind of market with lots of variables. Anything can happen in a market like that. Remember, market like certainty. We like to price in certainty. What we started pricing in last week is when Iran and America seemed to both be agreeing that a deal was going to get done. And then that kind of started to lose traction on Friday, certainly lost traction over the weekend, and has certainly lost traction in the last few hours. All right, team. Let's see what we can get here. So opening up right at value area low from overnight. Market opening here in 15 seconds. I'll be watching these areas down here to see if the market wants to hold, and I'll be watching these areas up here to see if the market pops and fails. We'll watch the mag at the open as well. See if we can get a readout on that. VIX opening up right at the 19s. Holy smokes. Hello. Really? The fuck is that? And this is what I mean, folks. What is that for an open? Welcome to Tuesday, folks. It's going to be a wild ride today by the looks of it. You're watching Cara and the rest of the meme version crowd. Yeah, well, a lot of those names, you know, Beyond Meats, all these like heavy short side names were picking up bids yesterday, so you want to be careful. You want to be careful. All right, there's a very heavy selling down here at the moment into value area high from yesterday. We're going to have to let this settle down. This thing doesn't really know what it wants to do. That's a big wash at the open. We can find a way of getting involved on a shove back up. It would be nice rather than just trying to chase down here because we're pretty thin. So there's a bid coming in here at 65s. Most of the mag opening up down here this morning. Amazon the big winner at the moment. That's up 1.68. As we know, that gapped up yesterday into value area high from yesterday. If we start losing this, we're going to close the gap. Here we go. Getting very close to a gap fill. So I'm short of value area high just for a scalp down to gap. And we'll see if we can get a continuation. A big seller just came in here at 65s. Here we go. Pay myself a little bit here. Just a small scalp there once we started to lose it. It's a shame we couldn't pop up this morning. And we'll see how we act here down to POC now. If they want to hold a bid back up. If this is a morning flush to hold a bid back up or not. ES about to join in for the gap fill as well. It's very, very close. What a weird open. That is heavy selling. So fear in the market by the looks of it. We'll see if we can get a pop up and how we work at value area high. Sorry, value area low. Value area high from yesterday, value area high from today. So all the way up to 800 is possible. So pop's starting to fail here at 65. There could be a squeeze back out to fill some of this in. Now we filled the gap and came into this key level. 24-hour view up down here. I'm looking to see if we pop up and hold a bid or not. Mag looks heavy. So if we can get a pop up to fade, that would be great. We have now filled the efficient market. We've filled the gap. We're failing previous day value area high at the moment. If we continue to fail that, we can look for a rotation to previous day point of control. I've only got a small piece on here. Here comes the rotation down to previous day point of control. And once we lose that, we can think about previous day value area low. Trying to get a stop in here. Here comes the bids. So ES not quite closing its gap, not quite taking out all-time high, not quite closing its gap. It's kind of interesting. It's weaker at the highs and not closed its gap yet. Big imbalances up here, folks. It still looks like it wants to trade lower, but a break of 65 will cause a squeeze. Here we go. Come on, just let it go. Only got a small piece on there. Come on. Come down to point of control, this grey box, my next cover, and then we'll see if we can get down here if they actually want to let go of point of control. I won't hold this above sort of 65, 70. I'll let it take me out and then see if it wants to reprice higher before I fade it again. And remember, this is into like possible demand area here, this grey box. You want to be careful. You don't really want to be short down here. Not a new money short. You'd rather it pops up and then traps buyers. Yeah, divergence here. VIX is starting to grind up over the 19s. We'll see if we can get towards the 20s again. Any pop-up that fails here is probably, any pop that runs the stops and then traps buyers is probably of interest here. Yeah, still not filling the gap. Just need this to either go down and take my runner with it, or pop up, run, take my stop out, rebalance a little bit, and then see versus anywhere up here, really. VWAP, etc., etc. This previous day value area high, they're still failing it for now. I'd like to see it lift above this really at this point. Take my stop out on the runner and then just see. Still heavy. There are bids here at 40 and 45. So this tape still feels heavy at the moment. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Here they come. Yeah, heavy tape. All right, just runner it is then. Here comes point of control, so you can cover a piece here. And if we get under this, we're looking for value area low from yesterday. So taking a piece here into point of control. And we'll see if we lose this bid here, all right, we'll try and get our last little piece down into value area low from yesterday. Under that, all hell breaks loose. All right, ES now filled its gap as well. So you're aware. So we have an efficient market across the board now. Here we go. Might finally run a runner. Take my runner out. Almost. Tick away. Point away. There you go. ES finding a bid of PDC. MAG starting to find a bid here. Nvidia red to green. Microsoft red to green. Meta red to green. So they're starting to find a bid around previous day's point of control here, folks. This is what we talked about. So it might well start finding bids here. This was an area we were interested in longing in. We're going to have to let this develop now, given the heaviness of the tape into it this morning. I think still sellers are in control, and this might be relief for now. So we're going to have to wait and see. But I'm out of this now, folks. Locking in some money on that move down. We'll see if there's a re-entry available here. If pops start to fail and if there's a backside, if we start to base out here, we can think about the rotation back up. It's not ideal, not at the moment. We are very, very thin. You can see the sellers got very, very aggressive here. We are very, very thin above this. And we've got some levels to fill down here if they let go of PDC and point of control. This grey box, absolutely vital. We can easily lift up here on a little squeeze out, and how they act up here will then become key. Feels like they want to flush here. It's the first day where it's felt a bit heavier in the tape for a while. You know, if sellers get too aggressive, too low, we all know what happens. But it does feel like sellers want this flush down. ES back down to PDC again. So it's closed its gap, and this is a retest of its gap. Now, if they don't hold this gap, ES is going to move down to VWAP and then 7140s. And then we can maybe move down here. If we move under PDC, this is the next move. It's getting a little bit tight down here. That's what I'm saying. The sellers might be a bit aggressive at these lows. We're about to find out. So ES holding the bid at PDC. SPY's not quite closed its gap yet. It was very, very, very close, but it's not quite closed it. I'm out of this at the moment. The danger is above 65, we can come right back up to New York Open very quickly if these sellers get too caught. That's the thing to be aware of. All right, I will watch this under previous day point of control if we're going to start to stay heavy under that. So here's the move into previous day point of control. I'm going to watch to see how we act under this, if we can get under it. Big if. If we can get under it, we can think about this move here. So there's what? 80 points up for grabs if we start to stay heavy under this. Here we go into it. We're going to break down here. Yes, still at PDC. It's got 24-hour VWAP here as well. So they're still printing and holding this for now. This grey box, still a big, big level. So I'm not going to trade short in this. I'm either going to need to, so that we understand, if I'm going to play continuation, I'm either going to need this, or I'm going to need to see compression, some pop up, buyers get stuck, and then a reshort with partials here, and then I can look for a reload. I'm not going to short in the grey box. Way, way, way too dangerous. We've got to lift higher and trap bulls, or get underneath and create more structure. Sellers trying again here. They're trying to get this 30 break. You can see it. Value area low of the session. Previous day point of control from yesterday. So around here. 22s, 30s. It's 30s on Ninja Trader for me. There or thereabouts, right? It's there or thereabouts. They're trying to get this breakdown. Mag a little bit of a mess here. Equally weighted Mag is 0.04% up, so basically flat. And Amazon's basically holding this market up. If Amazon starts to lose a bid, I'd be somewhat worried for the market. Right, here's a lift up, 100 lot buyer coming in here. They're trying to fill the 70s. They know it's thin above. That's the thing at the moment. They know it's thin above. ES back to VWAP, holding its PDC. So ES is trying to get this squeeze above here for the look above. We'll see if NQ does that same move we just talked about. So I'm willing to play either side, a push up and a failure up here, or a drop down and getting stuck underneath. I'm not going to short in this level here at the moment. We're going to have to wait and see if we start to break down. So here come the sellers again, back to value area low on the session, back to previous day point of control again. You can see it's very sensitive around here. If we start to break away from this, it will be fun. At the moment, you're seeing sellers come in heavy at 50s and at 40s and under, and we're not moving lower. That's the tail so far. See right here. Right, they're coming in heavy, and we're not moving lower yet. Starting to see some compression and down here a little bit. Is this a good entry for longs? No. It's a good area, but I don't see anything telling you that the market's finished moving lower yet. You'd need to wait for like it to reclaim. You'd need to look for some kind of move away from this and a base over, and then you can think about that move. But right now, buying dips in here, who's to say you don't get flushed out? Is it a good location? Yeah, it's potentially a good location. Is momentum good? No, not right now. So remember, you're looking at those two things, location and momentum. Like I said, over 60s, there's huge imbalances above to try and get into. This is where the sellers came in heavy this morning, is around these 65s. So above this, there can be a bit of a squeeze out, maybe all the way back to that New York Open. There's massive imbalances to fill up here, where we did that huge move on the New York Open. Mag is trying to find a bid here, folks. So Apple 0.66% down, Amazon 1.62% up, Google 1/3% up, Meta now 0.5% up, Microsoft 0.76% up, Nvidia 0.44% down, Tesla 0.20% down. Mag is definitely finding a bit of a bid here. 100% it's finding a bit of a bid here. So they're trying to lift this a little bit. So into these imbalances, running these stops. So I'm interested. If we come up here and I start to see buyers get trapped, then I'll think about a short somewhere up here, but not beforehand, especially with the mag now trying to find a bid. It can be very dangerous. We can come right the way back up. So if you're bullish now, you'd want this to hold prints over 50s and over 65. So I'm not going to play the bullish side just yet. I'm not convinced yet. See if this squeezes out and then fails is what I'm thinking. So here's the tap back into 65 for those of you, if you are looking for the upside lift. I'm not looking for that, but if you are looking for that lift, that's what you'd be looking for, a hold of 65 to 50s. I'm not convinced about that yet. Like I said, I think there might be some more downside pressure to come in this market. So this is the look above. I'm waiting to see how we act around here. There will be a battle around here, no doubt. So good hold of POC there at 50s for you guys who are adamant on being bullish today. 65 to 50s just held. So now you want to see if you can get relief all the way up to, you'd be watching 85, and above 85 there's an imbalance all the way up to 810s, basically the New York Open. So above 85, this area here is no liquidity. That's all thin. You can reprice that whole thing very quick. If this holds, that is possible. I'm not playing that move. I'm being very clear with you, but it's there for you if you are looking to play the upside relief. I'm not convinced. I think for me, upside will be sold into at the moment, but that's just where my head's at. You don't have to do the same, like I always talk about. So back to these 50s. If you start to lose the 50s and value area low, this thing can start breaking down. So I'm still going to be interested. For me, I'm focused on downside at the moment because it's where the momentum is. $50 is a very big level here. Still absorbing there at 50. Still no entry for me yet. Just waiting, patiently waiting, letting it build out. ES starting to reclaim its New York VWAP. So strength in ES. Market looks to me like it doesn't know what the bloody hell it wants to do. I think we're going to break lower, but that's more of a feeling than anything else. Nothing structurally yet saying that. Yeah, opening range now set. You're still inside the orb. These white lines are your orb. Here to here, 15-minute orb. You can see we're getting quite compact in here. It's a good shove from ES. Much more strength over in ES. Where is the VIX? No man's land. So some passive buyers starting to come into the tape now. So the first time today we've seen some more passive buyers start to show up. So the tape's calmed down a bit. So we're starting to see these condensed levels now. ES really going for it. ES on a squeeze all the way back up. So ES right back up here. NQ not. So relative weakness in the Qs at the moment. ES has come all the way back up to that key level. It's coming up to its 24-hour VWAP. It's coming up to the 160 cool wall. It's coming up to its New York Open, which is at 62.50. So it's a really good drive from ES. We're not seeing the same from NQ. So the divergence between the two continues to play out. All right, continues to play out during earnings season, just to make our life extra hard, because trading isn't hard enough. Here we go, 160, cool wall on ES, VWAP just above, New York Open just above. Here comes NQ trying to join in. Just trying to do the same move. Remember, ES is right the way up here right now. So here come the buyers, they're trying to step on the tape. ES, that New York Open. 24-hour VWAP, New York Open. If it starts getting through that, I'd say if it starts basing above 65s, ES has got a really good chance of going back for that 185s today. Really good chance. Here comes Globex level, this orange line. We've still got all these imbalances above to come and fill. All of these up here can still be filled. Like we said, they can still be filled. I'm not playing this long up here. It feels too risky for me with the divergence, but it's there for you guys, for those of you who are adamant in playing it. So ES now through its New York Open, just so much more strength over in the other index right now. It might be a gap fill and go for the ES by the looks of it. Right, into high of day now, ES. Poking high of day on the New York session, that is. Poking high of day. Remember, we can still come right the way back up here to catch up. So if you're bullish now, you'd really want Prince to sort of hold the 73s to 65s, right? You had 65-50 test. You'd want 75 to 65 to hold now. For those of you who are bullish, I'm not playing this move. Like I said, I'm being very transparent with you. It's not what I'm looking for at the moment. As you move to 75 to 65, they would need to hold these prints for you guys. If they start losing this, this would be the reprice to go lower, which is why I'm concerned to be a bull up here at the moment, especially in the weaker asset. All right, back to previous day value area high. You would need this to hold if you're bullish. If you start losing this, you're going to see rotation back towards the lows. Much more strength in ES, dancing around that high of day right now. This is the level. They need to hold this for you. If you lose this, this would be a giant bear flag and a breakdown, especially if ES comes back inside. If ES loses 160, I'd be concerned. into this big node. You can see this is the battleground. Right, this is where sellers were selling this morning. They were selling 65s. So the big sellers are all at 65s around here. All right. If you hold them out of money, they can try and rotate here. If they come back inside the money, you're going to see this move here. It's a big, big, big level. The delta, negative delta at 68 is 169 lot. At 65, it's an 87 lot. There's bid support under that at 63s. Let me... if we start losing 65s and 60s, I'll start thinking about more. But at the moment, I'm just going to let this chop around for a bit. I keep zooming out to the H1. I'm just thinking where we are in the H1, where we are in the H1. Like I'm always looking, where are we on the H1? We are in a failed breakout. There's a morning sell at the New York Open. We're into point of control from the developing week. We're into this node here. If we lose that, this rotation's possible. Then we can do one of these bids back up. If we lose this, then we're coming back into here. We can bid off that. If we lose this, then we're coming back into here. So we're sort of just watching level to level at the moment as we build out liquidity. Just make sure you're zoomed out. This is the liquidity from this week, all right? That's Friday. There's a Sunday open, gap down, Monday, Tuesday, all right? We're just at the midpoint. We're at the midpoint at the moment. So not trying to do anything too crazy here today while they figure out what's going to happen in Islamabad. That's all that matters right now. It's such a news-driven market. All right, yes, new high of day breaking out here. Sorry, my mum's just messaged me. She's concerned she's getting scammed at the moment, so I'm just trying to help her. Some assholes out there. All right, here comes the drift into these imbalances. New York Open and VWAP above. ES into Globex, breaking out of its high of day. Yeah, news coming like we sort of talked about at the beginning of the day. We do have news here this morning. Pending home sales and business inventories, top of the hour. What's the scam? Someone's messaged her in the UK from a new number saying, "Hey mum, this is my new number." She's just messaged me this morning. I was like, nope. And I was like, the next thing they're going to do is they're going to ask you for financial help. I was like, I'll give you financial help, but I definitely don't need your financial help, mum. Just check with my sister. It's not her, and it's not. I might just delete that number now. God, they're arsehole. There are some real arseholes out there, aren't there? Some real arseholes out there. Thank God she messaged me. Yes, exactly. At least she had the knowledge and common sense to message me first. Exactly that. I agree. All right, under this New York Open, New York high is up here. Here comes the slow grind back. This is like yesterday, the bid back all afternoon. It was pretty mad, wasn't it, yesterday afternoon? I went out and walked Luna. I went and got a coffee. Every time I checked, it was just slightly higher and slightly higher and slightly higher and slightly higher. We're trying to get up to this New York Open and VWAP by the looks of it. Like I said, the mag's caught a bit of a bid here. VIX is coming back down to that big level of 19. That's your over-under today. 19. I think it was the same yesterday. Yeah, it was. We just got glued to it. I don't think we get a big move in this market until we get through either, like, so we need some news. What's going on? Like, are they going to extend the cease? What's the bet they extend the ceasefire? I know he said this morning they won't. What's the bet? No deal is done and they extend the ceasefire. More of the same bollocks, I reckon. I'm not looking at GC right now. We're looking at NQ. I'm sorry. We can look at GC another time. But right now, we're watching this market trade up. and I'm not going to just change because you need help. I'm really sorry. We're here to trade NQ. You can have a look at GC. All right, they're adding liquidity higher and higher and higher and higher here. So they're trying to lift up as they keep adding higher and higher and higher and higher. More and more and more sellers stacking higher, and more of these bids come flying in at 800s trying to force it up. Big seller coming in here, which makes me think we're probably not done yet. They're probably going to hold this bid and re-squeeze out at the moment. Yep, there we go. So that seller now caught, and we keep going and going and going. They are not done with this thing. This might be just an inside choppy day now. So this level held. Those of you who did take the longs here, like I said, I wasn't going to take them, but those of you who did take them, these are your outs. You better be paying yourself up here. You better be paying yourself up here because you don't want to hold on beyond this. You will get yourself caught if you start trying to hold on beyond this. All right, you should be runners only. And what a wick we are about to leave on that hourly now. How quickly that changed off this bid. Big old wick on the hourly now as we come back up towards these highs. Still not quite taking out the high here. Very close. Still some bids trying to support this at 805, 815s. They're still adding liquidity higher right now. 825, 830, 835, 840, 845, 850, 870, 875. All on the book. They are just trying to lift this thing higher. Like I said, MAG caught a bit of a bid down there. Interesting, VIX has come into 19s and also found a bid. I think we just chop around today at the moment. I don't think we go uber bullish. I think we probably fail breakout both sides of the range at the moment. That would be what I'm guessing, but let's just see. We're going block to block, grey box to grey box here. So I would imagine we just chop around in a lot of this. Yeah, this is where we broke down from. You want to be paying yourself if you were long. Yeah, we might come and sweep some of this, maybe 850 and above, and then probably get stuck for a moment unless they're going to turn and make a squeeze on. I don't see how they're going to do that given the news, unless they know something we don't. I don't think they will become super risk on in this market. So buyers starting to get a little bit caught up here at 23s. It's 100 lot in that last shove up. News coming here in 2 minutes, or 1 minute really, 1 and a bit minutes. So we're waiting to see if we can get through that and go from there. Let me just check if this has a first red day or if it's just retrapped again. So still holding, still no first red day. You see the importance of these closes? All these shorts are front running. This thing can keep going and going and going. The best short is going to be when we have a first red day and then when everyone forgets about it. This thing will keep going until that point. Too crowded. I posted it on X last night. The crowded trade never works, or very, very rarely works. A crowded trade rarely works, especially when you're short side. You don't want a crowded trade short side. You really don't. What is car? It's do you know the hire company Avis? It's in a massive gamma squeeze right now. Right, so it's just a car. It's just a hire car company. It's nothing good. It's just in a big old short squeeze. All right, box to box, we've gone. Here comes the news, and we'll just see now if they've got positioned enough to hold above 809s for a lift or not is the question at this point. How high do we go? Pretty high by the looks of it. So all of the MAG other than Nvidia and Apple are now green as we continue to lift up into Globex, up into the levels we failed from. We can move this all-time high. It's now moved up here. There we go. So the squeeze is on. Those of you who are bullish, congrats. You can just hold small size now and just wait. It's a good hold of that grey box once the momentum shifted. I wonder if we just grind all the way back today now. What is a crowded trade? It's a trade where everyone is looking for the same trade. So if you are a short seller and everyone is looking for the same short sell, right, the chances of that working become pretty small because you're all going to have your stops in the same part. You're all going to start to panic. You're all going to be front side on the trade. Everyone's looking for the same thing. You're just adding short float to it over and over and over again, something which already has a big short float, and you get squeezed out. You trigger the next person squeezed out, the next person squeezed out, and it happens over and over and over and over again. The nice easy fades in markets are fades of shitty stocks that no one's looking at. They're the easy money where you get bag holders caught and we just fade back inside for a considerable amount of time. All right, you can see they're still adding liquidity higher here. 50, 60, 70, 80, and the 900s are all on deck right now. We've gone grey box to grey box. It's very possible that they come back for these highs at this point after that H1's rebalance, but we'll see. I wouldn't want to be long up here. This just feels, for me, like a market that's going to rotate today. That would be my guess, but happy to be proven wrong. No position here other than that morning trade. We can wait and see what we do now. Buyers trying to support the bid here as we come into 25s. I'd be very conscious about a failed break. Like I said, I think we can probably take some liquidity and then fail, but we'll see. We're above previous week close. We're above previous day high. We're above lower time frame algo. We're above Globex. So sort of 25 is a big level, which we're coming down into now. So if they don't hold a bid here, it will be a fail break of the opening range. Like I said, what happened with CAR? You've probably got some insider traders locked in, as in the board locked in. You have a gamma squeeze, probably triggered by something, something small. It wasn't like good earnings or anything. It has a history of doing this. I think last time I traded it back in 2021, it had a short float of like 30%. It's probably the same now. It's probably more than that right now, given the run it's gone on. Right, so when you have a big short float name, and it seems to be a theme at the moment. If you go and look at Beyond Meat and all these names with big short floats are squeezing right now. So you've got that kind of basket, let's say. All right, into previous day high. This is the area buyers have now been caught up at 37s, right? They've had two goes at 37s. So buyers need to get back above 37s if they're going to continue the lift. We're right into the key levels here. If they start losing this, we're going to come back and back check New York Open. So these sort of 25s and 30s are a big, big level here. If they can't hold this, we're going to come right back into the range. Right, we're right at that opening range right now. And like I said, buyers are currently caught up at 36, 37s. Here you go. Here's the move back down. So do they reprice now down to 810s or not? So I'd say your range right here, under 20, there's a little shelf at 20s. Under 20s, you're going to go 810s. Top side is 37s. Over 37s, you get a re-squeeze of the highs. I think we're going to chop all day today. I really do. Just looking at the daily, looking at the weekly, looking at the news, I think we're just going to chop and chop and chop and chop. Watching if they lose this bid here at the opening range, we're going to come back down to that New York Open. At the moment, we're holding like a little micro shelf here. You can see this little node here. So they're trying to get back up and test these buys at 36, 37s up there at the moment. If they can't do that, they're going to remain stuck. This is a huge level around here. There is still liquidity higher, but that 36 and 37s is a big level. Here they go. They're coming back into them now. They need to get above them for a re-squeeze. If they can't get above them, they will become supply. Nvidia is desperate to go red to green here. It's trying. It is trying. All right, they're back above them now, so they've got a chance to hold a bid into that level for a re-squeeze higher now. All the way up into here as possible at this point. It just looks very dangerous right now, this market. It looks so headline driven, like one piece of news can like just change the whole dynamic of this range we built out for. What this is like day 3 up in these levels. It looks very risky to me. Is Donald still posting? Yep. Still they're adding liquidity higher. 900s is still there. So 50s, 60s, 70s, 85s, and 900s still all there to be filled. You're above that opening range. You just held this print into sort of 20s, 25s. Remember, this is the node here. This is previous day high, this kind of level. If they can hold this, they can try and do this. If they lose this, if they pop and lose this, there's a mean reversion back into like this chop if you want to trade that. I don't really want to trade range rotation. I really don't want to trade it. Just make sure you're zooming out, understand where we are. Right? They can come and take all this out pre-market if they want. If they want to keep squeezing, this is all pre-market. It's light and volume. They can come for it. Have I taken a trade yet? Yes, we were short on these breakdowns into here. I'm up very small size at the moment, 665 on the day, that's all. I just think this looks like it's going to squeeze at this point. That last hour is wild. So when you zoom out and recheck that current week developing point of control. All right, so we break down from this, come into current week point of control, previous day point of control, and we bid straight back up, and we're now into this level here. I don't really want to trade this level here, surprise, surprise, because we don't know what we want to do here. We look above and fail, we look below and fail, we chop. So I'm going to do my best to avoid this level up here. Yeah, well, that's it. Like divergence across the board. I don't think this market really knows what it wants. I know we're drifting up, but one headline changes everything. Like I said, like it's risky right now. It feels risky to put risk on this market. Just so you know, Trump is absolutely on one, posting non-stop on Truth Social right now. Do I trade headline news? No, I try and avoid headline news. I let headline news move the market and then try and join in. So congrats. If you took these longs down here on these moves here, once we held and that momentum shifted, you look really good right now. You're 100 points up. You should have sold a good chunk into here, and you can hold runners to see if you take out these stops up here. You're starting to get kind of extended. That last pullback held pretty nice. We'll just see how high you can go now for those of you who took it. There's still liquidity up at 900 at the moment. I would say the last few days there's been like a non-stop bid. When it shows up, it's just non-stop. Yesterday was the same, that grind all the way back up. Remember, the buyers, your level, the big buyer came in at 37s, folks. All right, you've got another guy trapped at 66s, but all the time you're above 37s, you're comfortable. I can show you right here. Right, the big buyer came in here at 37s, right, and held price. There's a little guy stuck at 66s. You're still bullish. See this guy at 36s, 37, somewhere around that. All the time he's in the money, they're comfortable, and they can keep trying to lift up to these imbalances above. Once he's out the money, maybe there's a mean reversion. But I'm not touching this this grindy algo we've had for as long as I can remember now, the last week or two. Right, once they set it, gone. Right, very shallow pullbacks as we just lift and lift and lift and lift. Now, I'm not going to fight it. So looking for previous week high here, this red line, and all-time highs up here. And we have a gamma level here, it's 75s. ES is nowhere near that level, by the way. Its next level to get through would be an all-time high level. It's above its 7160s, and it can lift all the way up to 7185s if it can sustain a bid today. All of the mag now other than Apple green. So like we said, Nvidia is desperate to go red to green. It's a great turnaround on the mag. Really strong turnaround on the mag. Tomorrow, end of ceasefire. I think it might be tonight. Let me just check for you. Oh, you're right, it's Wednesday. But there are supposed talks happening now in Islamabad. But JD Vance is gone, so you can see we just tagged Gamma. JD Vance is there, and Iran came out this morning saying that they're not sending anyone. And Trump then came out saying, well, they better send someone because it won't be good for them if they don't. So, like, you're just... It's like it's chaos out there. Like I cannot remember trading a time like this. Certainly for Trump's first term, we didn't have anything like this. Obviously, we had COVID. But really what we just had is liquidity coming into the market and a non-stop pump. And it was much easier than the he said, she said scenario, you know? Sort of kicking myself for not taking this, but I just didn't feel like I wanted to take it with the divergence with ES. But how many times have I said that on stream recently? I'd imagine quite a few. Right, getting stuck up here at this gamma level in this supply block. Bulls are still in control, lower time frame. ES is still absorbing well. VIX is hovering at that 19s. No change there, folks. No change there. These 50s. Remember, the buyers came in at 36s. All right, they're still comfortable. There was a seller that just joined the tape at 60s, but the buyers are still comfortable right now. They are still trying to lift higher for now. We're above this grey box at the moment. So no failed follow through, no big mean reversion trade set up yet. We're just drift and drift and drift. This is like the last few days. You don't want to fight a tape that wants to drift. If and when they get stuck, we can think about a mean reversion, but I'm really not thinking about that right now, given the reaction off the lows. We'd have to like really see some buyers get stuck on the tape. We're not seeing that yet. Doesn't mean we don't, but at the moment, just feels like it wants to drift higher. ES is just holding every print here. It's just done a 5-minute flag, broken out, retested that 5-minute flag, and it can easily print a new high here if it wants to get going, and it's got a long way to go if it's going to get up to 185 on the ES. Qs are reacting off. Yeah, the divergence here at 650s on the Qs, which is this 875 on NQ. So we have divergence in terms of options levels, and VIX is trading sub 19s and just going lower and lower and lower. So we got major divergence here. Car's been halted to the upside. I mean, if it's starting to halt upside, yeah, it has. If it's starting to halt upside, it means we're getting close. You need a day where we're gap up, gap up, gap up on the halt bands, And then we're getting close because we haven't had any halts yet or any gap ups. It's been very, very slow. Like, so when you're a short seller, really you want to see over ambitious moves up. We haven't seen that. It's just been a very slow grind up. I mean, slow. It's not been slow. The moves have been massive, but there haven't been like any gaps, any halts, anything like that. Especially in the daily chart, it's just been open and grind and open and grind and open and grind. Still looks like we want previous week high and more here. Still, just look at this, just slow grind up. Same story for a week plus. Just the buy algo, just chomping. Close to puts. What on car? I mean, I'll review it after each day. But like I said, I will prefer it once it's offered the short first red day, bounce back, people have bought back in, short again, bounce back, and then everyone forgets it. And then you go, okay, but thanks. Go to sleep for a year. It seems like the market doesn't care that we're extended. Why don't you want to take longs here, Alex? Why do you implement this in your rules? Just looking to learn or criticize. Well, we're into supply here. We're not overextended. We're in a range, right? We're actually not overextended anymore. We're in a range. We've been in a range since Friday last week. So I don't want to be long in supply. Just because I don't want to be one side of the trade doesn't mean I take the other side of the trade. I've said this a million times. You know, just let it do whatever it is it's going to do. I'm not going to be a buyer until I see some form of trap either way. If we're going to trap, I want to see a wash back down, take out liquidity, trap some people, and then I'll look for the move back up. I don't just buy the top of ranges. It's very, very dangerous. There's previous week high just being tagged here. It's your first tag up there at previous week high. All-time highs up here that we set overnight into 902s, and it can keep going as the market keeps trying to lift on the mag. But I'm not going to be a buyer in the red box. All right, this is where you get trapped. You want to buy the top of a range in supply? That's on you. I certainly will not be doing that. And there's a reason it's red. And there's a reason we just reacted off those levels. Right, previous week high just got absolutely sold into on that first push. All right, and if they do a mean reversion, we can come right back down inside. But I'm going to need to wait to see people get trapped. I'm not seeing anyone trapped on the tape yet. All I'm just seeing is a slow grind. My favorite trades to take are pro trend trades in discount. You could have argued that today was that. It wasn't in discount. It was at fair value from last week or from developing week. Fair value from yesterday. Maybe there was an argument to get long down here. Like I said to you guys can get long here. I told you why. I just felt like the divergence might lead us to a rollover, which is why I ignored the long. But, you know, you got the move. Fantastic for you guys. I don't feel like I've missed anything. I'm quite happy to just sit and wait. I see sellers come back into this market here. Remember, the buyers came in at 37s. There was some more buying at 66s up here. We're starting to see this market sort of peak out a little bit up here at the moment. It might need a bit of a pullback into those 37s. Let me just close this so I can see these blinds are a bit hot. Yeah, there we go. And there's lots of stops down here into 47s, and if we pop those, we'll probably go and test the buys at 37s, maybe down to 27s in this block. How do I chat court buyers and sellers? I use Footprint. Use Footprint and Bookmap to see the order flow. Just passive buying here, 45s, 40s, 25s. Like I said, 37s is a big level. It's a big level that we've seen today. Building out a bit of a range here. Seller's being pretty aggressive here. There's a seller chasing this down now, 100 lot. Oh, he's chasing. What is he doing? He's spoofing. He chased to 50 and moved back up to 80. What are we doing here? Right, we're going to come and test this guy at 37s, like I talked about, I think. And how we act here will become important. If we start losing the bid here, there'll probably be a deeper wash. This is a move back into value area high on the day. This is where the buyers came in earlier. If we start to lose this, you can probably see it move right back down to VWAP. So I'm watching this, starting to lose it now. And these are into the imbalances, filling some of these buy side imbalances. If we lose this, we're trading into 15s, I think. So you can see bid stacking here, trying to hold these imbalances. I think we're going to wash. This is why you don't buy in supply. I'm trading this back downside at the moment, seeing if I can just get a little bit more of an extension for a scalp into 15s. And then I'm going to expect a pop back up to either test 37s if we go through that, up to 56s. I'm just scalping my way around this market because there's not, I think we're just going to be in a range for a while until we get through tomorrow. So we'll see if we lift this back up now. Here's 37s. There are imbalances above 37s all the way up to 54s. ES holding its 24-hour view up and New York open as well. Here we go. So scalping back up here. And I'll see if we can get short on a pop if it starts to fail for a rotation back down. So my throat's gone a bit croaky. So if we can lift a little bit higher here, I'll see if there's if they trap more buyers up here for that sell back down inside. If they reclaim all of this, I'll ignore it. All right, so I'm willing to play both sides, but if we pop up here, fill the imbalances and fail, I'm willing to look for this. If we do this, then I'm not going to take it. This is value area high from overnight. This is value area low from overnight. We're trading inside overnight's value in here. All right, so I'm either looking for a rejection of that. If we print above it, I'm going to ignore it and just leave it alone. There's still liquidity higher. There's a bit of a gap here from 60 to 85 on the book. ES into its VWAP, so timing this is going to be very hard. Like yesterday, VIX finding a bid over 19s and starting to push higher now. This is they're gonna make this hard. I wonder if there's going to be failed follow through setup on the next push here. If there's a bit of profit taking. Nvidia back red, Tesla back red. All right, so the big moves up seem like they're starting to sort of fade out a little bit here. So I'm going to see if we can pop and fail and trap some buyers up to 60 to 66s. If we hold prints above 60, I'm not going to take a short. Very simple. That's it. And we're holding the orb right now, so I'm very, very aware of that. We're holding previous day high. Very, very aware of that. So it would be scalp city for me today. There are some bids here, 35s all the way down to 800. So into value area high again. This is what we're talking about. Do they let go of this 37s? Here we go. Okay, let's see if we can get some follow through here under previous day high. I'm shorting this, looking to see if we can extend a little bit. Like I said, I'm scalping here. Failed follow through now. Here's VWAP, taking a partial here. Let's see if we can get to New York Open 608s. Like I said, it's just going to be, for me in my head, we're in a range rotation market. So I'm going to have my scalp hat on here today. So taking a piece off here, big sellers coming in here, running stops. I would like to see us go to 808s if possible. And I don't want to reclaim of 37s. All right. There's a seller chasing the market lower here, which is a good thing to see. Those who've been learning to tape with me is what we want to see. This 100 lot trading downside. ES into New York view up as well. So be careful here. You want to be covering some of your position here if you took this pop up and fail. And we'll just see if we can get something to go. If they let go of this New York Open, it would be great. But my stop's moved in the money here. Want to protect 37s. If you want to give it more room, you could move your stop to sort of 47s. But I'm going to protect 37s, that buyer. I want him to stay stuck here in this lift up. Because I can see the sellers above at 65. I don't want to give 20, 30 points up. Still look good so far. No, I'll enter on a moving candle. I don't need a candle closure. I'm playing ticks. Like I know we're watching minute candles, but I'm watching the order flow. I don't need a candle closure. It's just how I play. I used to play candle closure. I think it's a great way to do it when you start. You know, like you could let this candle close and say like you're going to play the short under that, for example, for momentum. but I can see enough getting caught here into this node, that little look above. Right, 37's key. Popping into 37s. If we run above this, I'll stop out. This is the level, so I want sellers to defend this level to leave these buyers here and above trapped. This is what I'm looking for at the moment. If not, and we reclaim, I will stop out and I will revisit it if and when it sets up. Like I said, it's a pullback. We're in a choppy market. We want to be careful. Here we go. Good defending of 37s. Thank you, market. I want to get back under previous day high here. We're pretty closely stacked. So you got lower time frame algo, deep pullback, previous week close, previous day high, VWAP, all stacked very, very close here at 26s. Does my class include learning the tape on Bookmap? Yeah, if you do the volume and order flow course, it's all on there, my friend. All right, going to stop out here if we lift above these 37s. I'm watching this imbalance. My stop, I've got a hard stop in, basically at 40s. There is a node here at 40s. It's tempting to give it more room, but I'm not going to. I want my stop in the money for the runner. Here we go. I'm out of this now. Can always get back in. But I'm having to be in scalp mentality at the moment, because what this can be is an undercut of these stops here. All right, it can be an undercut of this and a reprice and this. So I'm trying to be very, very careful. Again, I'm watching the hourly. These hourlies are kind of tricky right now because we're in a range, right? Everyone that says we're overextended, we're actually not anymore. Right, this kind of stops the overextension once we see this. All right, this is a build out of range. All right, where we're extended is in all of this. All right, this is a cooling down of range. This could be signal the top of the market. All right, could easily signal the top of the market if we start to break underneath this, but it can also signal accumulation and a cool down to go higher. All right, so we want to be careful. We treat ranges differently to we treat trends. Yeah, we have to be careful in ranges. Remember, we were short here this morning, down into here covering. I said, if you guys want to buy, you can probably buy for this move back up. I wasn't convinced about it, but it's held. All right, and then I'm short the top of this range for the move back into here. All right, it is scalp city only at the moment for me, at least how I see the market, I guess. Just trying to play what's available and low hanging fruits and position myself like if it wants to go, it wants to go. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay, we just filled a little imbalance there. We're back into these 37s, value area high, moving high. You can see this grey box is becoming very, very, very important. This box here, which has been here the whole time, it's becoming important. Back to previous day high again. ES into a very, very key level here. The New York Open and both its VWAPs. Like I said, if they start losing, if this is supply, which is the red box, look, we tagged gamma, we tagged previous week high, we've come back in to the opening range. If they start losing value area high and opening range, then we'll probably reprice the midpoint, maybe even all the way down, right? Depends if there's a news catalyst. But if they lose this, we probably tap into this. If they lose this, we probably come and test this. This is the range. There's your range, right? And this is the higher time frame range. So we've looked below, we've looked above. We can easily just trade in this all day long. All day long, we can do that. Alex, do you think this war will end soon? My friend, I wish I had the answers for you. Honestly, this war will only end. This is my feeling. It's not necessarily accurate. This war will only end when Trump walks away from it. All right. What you have to understand with Iran, they are not some like little Afghanistan country, okay, with like no army. They have a massive army. Iran is absolutely huge, right? This whole thing of like we're winning the war, winning the war. If you've won the war, why are you still there, right? The Iranians, I think, will probably be able to outlast the rest of the world. Not like they'll do damage to armies and stuff in the rest of the world, but their mentality will just be to stay in it forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. They're not going to give up uranium. It's not going to happen. All right. It's just not going to happen. So I think all the time that's the want and the need. This can be a prolonged experience. I think probably what's happening behind closed doors is very different to what we're going to be told and see in the media. But that's the same with everything all the time, right? It's the same with everything all the time. So who knows? But, you know, I can imagine the European countries and the Gulf and the Far East are going to start getting real pissed off real soon, because you'll start, like, we're not, I live in America, but I'm European, right? So I watch both sides of the news. We in America are not being shown the impact that this is having elsewhere. It's having a massive impact elsewhere. And I think you fast forward 3 months, you start to see some very different talks from the EU and stuff. So we'll see. But, like, look, that's just my opinion. I'm a 40-year-old on YouTube, you know. I'm not a politician. It's a shit job. I don't know who'd want it. It would be nice if we had some decent politicians in the world. And I'm not, that's not me having a go at Trump. Biden was also a fucking joke. Like, so's the people in charge of the UK. Like, it would just be nice if we had some, like, politicians who just wanted to maybe make this world move forward a bit. Still feels like we're making the same mistakes we've made for hundreds of years. But there we go. No way I'm 40. I'm 40, mate. 1985. I am 40. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? That's the problem, right? Like, the market is always forward looking. Right, the way all markets operate is we're forward looking, right? We try and price in ahead of time. You know, what's the old saying? If it's in the press, it's already in the price, right? So if we price in ahead of time, let's just think about this, what we've seen. In fact, we might have to go, what's this low? All right, so this was the start of accumulation long, all right? And then once we did this fail breakout down here, this was long position, and they were positioning that there would be no war, all right, that the war was over. And I think it was here that Trump came out and said, you know, we've won the war, we're doing a deal, it's all looking very good. Okay, so we're risk on, all right? What if the deal isn't done and we start having to, like, bomb them or worse? Who knows? Then you probably get a reprice to at least here, right? And that's the thing. That's how the markets work. This is the same as earnings. We think earnings are going to be good. We price up to earnings. Earnings are good. We sell the news. Earnings aren't good. We sell back down. Doesn't matter either way. We've already priced it in. We're always forward looking in the market. As long as you can remember that, it will serve you well. By the time you just look at, like, silver and gold. By the time your nan and grandpa are talking about something, the move's happened. That's the way I always think about it. If all your mates who don't trade are like, yeah, let's buy silver, well, the high's in. That'll be the high. That'll be the high. You're Hungarian and you watch the news in Europe, and there's drastic difference in the economy being affected. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. Exactly that. Like, I watch both. They're very different stories right now. You know, you're close to no, like, you're getting close to no food. You've already got how can I put this? The middle class to I hate the word class, but, like, the middle earners to the low earners are the ones that are going to feel this pinch, and they're the same people that have been pinched since 2019. Right, they've run out of capital. They're already over leveraged on all of their credit cards. They're already in negative equity. So if we pinch those same people, right, and expect them to be able to pay more price at the pump, or there's no gas at the pump at all. I mean, I had that chat with my mum this morning. She has a diesel car. She's like, I'm going to have to go and get an electric or a petrol car now. The reason she had a diesel car, she doesn't earn a lot of money. She's a teacher, right? So that's a necessity for her to get to work. There's no diesel. There's literally no diesel. So she's got to shift cars. She can't afford a new car, you know? So, like, that's just, like, one story. You're going to see that rhetoric in these other countries. We're not really seeing that in America yet. You're in Greece and food prices have skyrocketed. Okay, so Greece is another great example. I mean, you guys are still recovering from the economic depression that you had, you know, what, like 10 plus years ago. You know, you can't, that's what I'm talking about, that range of people who, you know, earn from lower tier wage to mid tier wage cannot afford to be crunched again. It will be devastating for them. But anyway, you just asked for my views. That's just my views. That's not political views. It's more how we have to think about how and if it might affect the economy. But you know what they don't care about? AI doesn't care about that shit, right? So if we can print massive earnings, which is what the expectation is right now, then we can keep printing higher. That's the other thing. We're in earnings season. Sounds political. Well, it's not political. We're talking about the economic effects. I'm not criticizing one person or another. We're talking about the economic effects of it. We are trading the economic effects of it. What do you want me to say? Like, you ask a question about how I think it's going to affect the market. I just told you we're forward looking. I told you about the rhetoric. I told you how that might change. What do you want to do? Like, why do you think we're up here? Do you think it's based on nothing? Why do you think we've gone into a range? Do you think it's based on nothing? You know, news does actually affect the market. We do have to have some understanding of what's going on. All right, ES back at that 160 level. All right, we're starting to see it sort of chop around this midpoint. It's underneath its New York Open now. Are we going to see failed follow through here, or are they going to hold? You see this grey box? Again, it's just like chopping in this grey box. European airlines to run out of fuel in 6 weeks. Is that right? Oof. Not good for your summer holiday, is it? Alex, do I buy silver and gold as well? No. I was short silver and I was short gold off those moves. I felt bad because my father-in-law actually bought the high on silver the same moment I took a short on it. Like I said, that's kind of your trigger when everyone's talking about it. All right, ES coming back to the midpoint of the range. NQ now holding up fairly well. So we now shifted to relative strength of NQ at the moment. ES coming in gut checking, so is SPY. Previous day highs at the moment. They're just holding a print above that. You can just look at the spiders, very clean, holding a print above previous day high at the moment. Nothing to do here. We're just chopping range. Was the whole purpose of the war to strengthen the dollar? There was a good argument for that, for the petrodollar. Yes, a good argument for that. It forces people to buy back into oil, which is pinned against the dollar. But I don't know the purpose of it, guys. Like I said, I'm just a guy on YouTube. If you guys ask me for my opinions and you don't like them, then it's just my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right. Same with how I'm trading. If I'm not right, I'm not right. It's just don't watch me. Go and ask someone else why we got to war. I can't tell you. I cannot tell you. I don't have all the answers. Yeah, we are pinned. We're pinned. We hit a demand pocket this morning. We've hit a supply pocket this morning as well. Right, and we're not seeing follow through. Here, these are the levels, right? Block 1, block 2, block 3. Right? We traded from mid block to lower block, back to mid block to upper block to mid block. Do we lose this bid under this? Do we find a bid here? Is that a trap? I don't know. We have no idea right now. We're just waiting for the market to decide what it wants to do. We're seeing divergence across the board. We're holding previous day high. We're holding above previous week close. We're holding above both the VWAPs. We're holding above the New York Open at the moment. But we came into supply at the high of day and failed up there on this push. And it looks like we're just building out a range here. You can see a big node here at the moment starting to be developed. Here we go, back to previous day high again, and previous week close again, and there are imbalances below this, and maybe we come down to VWAP. I don't know. Here's the VWAP, right? So I'm watch this to see what they're going to do here. Are they going to find a bid, or are we going to wash to that New York Open? ES breaking down here. Just looks very trappy, all of this. I don't want to get caught here. I've had an okay day. All right, added a TPT account today. Traded both. That's just the same account that I've been trading the last few days. So we're now up. I can show you so you can see it's the same one. So up 10,500 on this in the last 5 days or something. Okay, no, I don't trade CFDs. I wouldn't advise you to trade CFDs. They're not regulated. You know, you have no centralized exchange. You're asking to get scammed if you're trading CFDs by the brokers, that is. Right, 24-hour view up, still holding price up for now. Do I trade each account individually? Unless it's an A+ trade, yes. Okay, this feels like a little bit newsy here. Thin book. Let's just have a look. There's a headline. Walsh talking right now. We're addressing the aftermath of the Federal Reserve policy mistakes, stressing the need for basic policy changes, calls for a new framework to address inflation, utilize tools in a new way, interest rate tools is more just, fresh communication and strategies, US Senate leader majority says Republican, don't care about that. Fed chair nominee Walsh says Fed retains forecast longer than necessary. He will sell investments as per agreement with the ethics office, agreeing to ethics office to divest before taking, does that mean digest? Divest before taking oath of office. Okay, so you're just seeing comments from potential new Fed chair post-Powell. And it's the same levels. See, nothing's really changed. We are developing quite a big node here. Right, and again, value area low from overnight. Value area high from overnight. Developing within this, okay? It's a small, tight range. These are the things that I try and avoid as best I can. Right, if we're looking for fades, we need to play the extremes, or these. If we're looking, or these. If you're looking for dips, you want to play these, risking these for these moves back up. You don't really want to trade in the chop and slop. The beef between Trump and Powell is funny. I mean, I feel a bit sorry for Powell, to be honest. What a shit time to be given Fed chair. Like, he's had a tough run. He's had a pretty tough run to have to deal with COVID and then everything else since. I don't think he's done a terrible job. Do I think he's late sometimes? Yeah, I do, but I think that is a tough job. I don't know who would want that job. Am I still in long? I haven't been long at all. Abolish the Fed. What? And leave a political party in charge of it. Yeah. Watch how much trouble you get in if you do that. I don't think so. You need neutral parties. Walsh stated they avoid politics at the Fed when asked about Trump's 2020 election loss. The Fed has overstepped its bounds recently, promising he won't do the same. I'm not prepared to wander outside the Fed's remit even. Not seeing anything else yet. Chop and slop continues here. We're just trading sideways. ES looks like it's going to break right back down at the moment. Very, very different to the Qs, which are holding up. Nvidia red, Tesla red, Google red, Apple red. Here's the New York Open. Right, so this bear flag into this area here is interesting. If we start to lose this bid here, we will reprice right down to here. All right, so this can still trap and come up, but if they start to lose this bid here, this is a move. We're getting wonky on the book here. Yes, is letting go right into this New York Open. QQQ into its VWAP as well. So New York VWAP at the moment, still absorbing. New York Open, New York VWAP, still absorbing. We left an imbalance here all the way back to 23s. The question is, do they fill that or do they just start flushing back down to the lows right now? Let's see. Bids here at 800s, trying to absorb the 800s. I think we're going to flush here. I think they're ready to sell this. ES is looking weak. I think the next pop probably gets sold into what's this level here? Buyers are stuck at 34. So I'd say into 22s. They probably sell that if they pop up there. You going to pop a tool? Nope. ES very weak. Back down towards low of day right now. Once they're done with it, they're done with it. Fantastic. There's your sell signal. Too late now to join. Oracle hit 3-month high. Yeah, I'm still long Oracle. I'm currently up. I can tell you how much I'm up on that. I'm up 35% on Oracle right now. So I'm up 26% on Apple, 17% on Amazon, 72% on AMD, 35% on Oracle, 18% on Meta, 25% on Robinhood, 10% on Microsoft, 8% on Netflix, 19% on iBit, 9% on my Vanguards, basically on the ETFs, and I'm up just under 4% on Nike. Oh, well, brilliant. Just wash it without me. Be patient that whole time, and then you won't come and retest anything. ES coming back down to lower day. Like I said, I think we go in a range rotation day. This is what we're seeing. They chopped here for a long time with that news. So we'll see if they pop up here and defend VWAP or the New York Open. That's what we'd like to see. You don't want to get short down here, really. We'd really like to see them pop up instead of messing around down here. But at the moment, this is just water falling down, cascading lower. No, don't move that. We need that. Right, coming back into value area low for the session. If you did catch this short, you want to be covering some into here. All right, this is a range, like we talked about. I think we're going to be in a range today until it proves otherwise. New York VWAP, yeah, it's anchored to the New York Open. Exactly that. The 930 print, this one right here. All right, I want to see a pop-up get sold into if I'm going to be interested in this. And we need to be careful because if we do take that sell, it's going to be midpoint of the range. But if we think they can do this, I'm interested. But we want to be very careful because if we think about range high and range low of the day, this is about mid. It's not ideal in terms of location. This is the trouble with range trading. This is why you've got to be very careful if you're looking for continuation trades in range. Lots of imbalances higher. So we've got imbalances all the way up to 22s. ES came right back down to its PDC. Choppy market as anticipated here. Still trading within the range that we set this week. Higher the better. All the way up to 22s to see if they trap buyers and then fade it. That's what I'd say at the moment. And if they reclaim all of this, nothing to do. So let's see. Some sellers stacked here from 05s up to 10s. You're not going to come up high enough for me, are you? Nope. I have to find a way to get involved in this if they're not going to let me in. Come on. Come up, come up, come up, come up. I'm watching to see how we react at 8s up to 23s, that sort of level. Maybe even up to 36s, but 8s up to 23s. If we can trap buyers up there. Please stop failing here. I can't get involved if you keep popping and failing here. Oh, you pain in the butt, NQ. Where am I looking for it to lift to? I literally just told you. 08s up to sort of 23s. If they get through 23s, they might lift to 40s, but I'm really looking for 08s to 23s. Pops up there to fail to see if buyers get caught there. But ES is about to take out its lower day. So we're going to have divergence here across the board. I really need it to lift up and see buyers get caught and fail. You want to be careful because we have relative strength in the Qs as well. Oh, you fucker. You are not going to come for me. ES into PDC. This is when it's hard, when you want to get in and you can't. Here it goes. Here's the breakdown. Fuck me. No way getting involved. There's value area low tagged. So that's your TP1 right here. So if you were short, if you took any of these or this signal here, you want to be covering into this pocket here. All right. And then you can hold. And we can think about this move still if they want to do it, but you want to be taking most of your money off. There's not a reload until we get underneath now. So I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this. Runners, reload, out. I want to be very careful. Remember, this is the range. We can do this back up now. If they just wanted to test the bottom side of the range. Like I said, I think we go in range rotation today. That's what you're seeing at the moment. All right, ES, fresh lows here. So it's sweat the lows just to make it extra hard with the divergence. It's my dotted level above VWAP, and it's 24-hour VWAP. All right, New York VWAP, 24-hour VWAP. So ES finding a bid after sweeping the lows, coming back inside. We'd like NQ, well, I would like NQ to bid up, right? I want it to bid up, like we're starting to do now. Now, can we squeeze a little bit more and trap some buyers up here? It's 100 lot caught there. Can we come a little bit higher? Got lots of guys at 15 and then all the way up at 45. So was that enough for you guys? No, you're still bidding up. You're still bidding up. You're still bidding up. And you're looking to fill 15s by the looks of it. I'm watching very carefully here to see if we bid up and then fail. Some buyers getting caught here into that New York Open. There's a bid here at 96. So I've got a little piece on. I'm not convinced yet, but I've got a little piece on. I think they want higher. I think they want to retest these imbalances at the moment. There's 15s. We'll be careful because the low hanging fruit got taken on ES. The divergence at play. Here's New York Open. Imbalances are above these up to 25s right now. They can lift right the way up here if they want. Here's the 800s. If they rebid this, they'll hold it. Here we go. Right, let's see. Can we break down now? We've got to let go of this structure we've just created. If they hold this structure, then I think we come back for 25. So we let go of this and we're going to break down. This is good. Can we get under 93s where these sellers last came in? Beautiful. So this is what I was looking for first time around. Buyer coming in here. Want to be careful here at these 92s, 93s. This is where sellers last got stuck. If we get under this, then I think we can retest previous day value area high at 65. So I've paid a little bit here just in case they hold this range. Come on. Beautiful. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come and take out that low at value area low. They're absorbing the tape down here. There's a big buyer sat at 60 and 40, so I'm looking to see if we can fill him at the moment. Here come the sellers. They're sitting on the tape now. They're trying to chase price down. If ES breaks the lows, that will really help. We don't want a higher low here on ES. New York Open, really good. Here we go. Come on, sellers. Come on, sellers. Let's get down to 60s and start breaking. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Why didn't I take my sell signal on flow zones? Because we're in a range. I prefer to take them when we're in a trending market. So we're in a range. It was a good sell signal. But when I'm in a range, I want to be careful. I do not trade ranges well. I've always admitted that on stream. I'm not a great range trader. I try and avoid ranges as much as possible. I'm much better at continuation trades. More sellers stepping in here. Come on, come on, come on. We need to break these lows. We break these value, at least like last few minute lows, then we can get a little wash because there's been a lot of buyers trying to absorb the takedown here. And there's bids much lower right now. Come on, 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 come on. Take them, 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 take them. Come on. You're so close to doing it. You really want to do it. Come on, let's do it and then go down all the way to the lows. Close, you're so close. You're so close to popping these stops. You're so close to popping these stops. Big sellers down here at the moment getting absorbed. We just need a break of that value area low. Basically these 75, 74s. Once that breaks, I'll be covering some into here and then we can re-add underneath previous day point of control if we need, if we're going to go into a trending down. Come on, just pop them. Come on. There's so many bids down here to fill. I just want a partial underneath into 60s. Come on. Can see you. Come there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Finally. Woo. All right, covering some into this big 100 lot buyer, trying to step in on the tape here. And we'll see how much lower we can move now. Let's see. Let's see, folks. Let's see. Are we going to move out of range into a trending market lower or not? What a gross H1. All right, but here we go. This is what I wanted. I kept saying I want to see price come into here. And then we started getting short. I'm covering some here. I'll be covering some here. I'll be covering some here. If we do this, I'll be adding on for this move here. All right, same as we talked about this morning. Exactly the same as when we were here this morning. Here we go. Here's 50 points. Let's see if we can get some more. There's PDC. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's go. All right. Cover some here into this big block. Remember, we went block to block to block. The 3 blocks on our chart this morning. All right. We've talked about it. The 3 blocks. Here, here, and here. All right. We rejected this, traded into this. We traded back to this. Popped up to this, finally rejected this, broke down to this. We want to be covering some here. We will add if we do this move. All called ahead of time. All called ahead of time. Tried to make it easy for you. Right, we are now into this pink line here is developing week's point of control. Right, so in here is fair value. All right. We're currently into fair value. We want to be covering positions into here. Not all of it. You want to hold a runner in case we get very, very weak, but you want to be covering some into here. As we come into these lows, can we overextend? Here is previous day point of control. Can we get a new lower day? You want to be paying yourself into these, folks. It's been an aggressive move down. And if we get under previous day point control, underneath this gray box, we can try and get into 665. All right, we can try and get into 665. This is an aggressive sell. You got to be paying yourself. And you got divergence. Remember, ES has taken out the lows. We haven't taken out the lows. You want to just see pops continue to fail, 50s ideally, maybe up to 65, but ideally 50s. Pops fail at 50s. Come on, break the low. Go on, go on. Yes! Let's go, baby! Let's go, baby! Let's go, baby! All right, high time frame algo here. Let's see if we can really break down under all of this now. Next target's down here. I will be adding on if we start to see weakness against this grey box. Get the fuck out of my stream calling shit this morning. Let's go. All right, so I'll be adding on if we stay heavy versus this grey box for the rotation back to previous day value area low if it gives me the opportunity. Ah! What a beauty. What a beauty. Just took a little bit of time. Look at VIX. Chopped all day at 19s. Guess where we are? 1961s, right? That thing ripped once it finished basing around doing the dance. All right, so I'm outmost. I'm considering an add already here, but I want to see it build out more structure before I start adding on down here. All right, so if we're going to look for that sort of inverse cup and handle, right here down to here, we need to build out a bit of structure. Otherwise, we're going to be runners only. Your runners are into here and here. Okay. We'll see if it wants to build out some liquidity for me for an add. Is there a way to get back in? Only with what I've just said, right? If we build out liquidity, right, the only way that you can get back in or add on to the position now is if we build out liquidity into here, all right, and fail and trap more buyers, and then we can look for the trade down to here. But the easy money is probably gone, and we're just seeing if we can build out more. These are our targets, right? 660s, 625s, yeah, 660, 625, 565, 540. Those are our targets for downside. Sorry, my wife being very generous. Gonna do a coffee run and get me a croissant. A croissant. Oui, un café, un croissant. Alex, I just passed the account from yesterday. Oh, the one I gave you yesterday for free. Nice, Kate. Look at that. So you get a free account from me and then you smash it short and pass it. I love it. High five. Poifumph. Nice work. All right, I've not added yet. That's not enough liquidity for me to add on. So it's runners only, and we'll see how low we can go. We will see how low we can go. And we can come right back down. I'm watching the H1, remember. I'm always watching the H1. All right, so H1 failed to make a new high here. Trading back down to the bottom side of value, right? Previous day value area low. If we start breaking under previous day value area low, we're going to come to previous week value area high. If we lose previous week value area high, we will come to the naked point of control. If we lose the naked point of control, I will say we are officially backside of the trade. This will be me thinking about shorts in the market. Otherwise, I think there might be a bid back up from there. All right, so we went over this yesterday. We went over it in the weekly newsletter. And you guys can smash that like on stream because, man, I try and tell you what I'm looking at before I'm looking at it. Like I felt today would be a range trade, and I felt like if we broke down from this level, we could get really washy. Here we go, and we're starting to do it. So we had the same idea here, but we needed to come and test supply first, clearly. All right, you might want to be covering here. It depends how much you're willing for this to bounce back, because we might very well come up all the way into here and retest. I'm just going to turn this aircon off, which is blasting. In fact, let me move my stop down to PDC. SPY coming into a big level as well. It's actually come into a demand zone on the spiders, which is yesterday's lows, right? SPY is coming into yesterday's lows. So if SPY starts breaking down under yesterday's lows, then I'd expect a reprice to 702s, maybe even 701.70s on the spiders. On ES, you've got a bit of a way to go to get down into those levels, but you're coming into that sort of consolidation range from Sunday and Monday. So if we stay weak, maybe we come and take out the Sunday Globex lows. 7,100 you could look at ES for an extension today. If we do stay heavy, you could look at 7,100s. But I'd say there's a stop run here at 7 1,120s on ES. All right, if it run those stops and wants to go back to 140s, it can. You'd want to see a lower high form at 140s max, and then see if they can run lower. Still looks good. Still looks good. All right, previous day value area low now hit. All right, so target, next target's now hit. And we have to see now. This could bleed all day. It could, but like we have to respect the ranges, right? Like we always look at the H1. We respect the ranges that are being developed. We take, we're day traders. We take money into key levels of liquidity. We try and ignore everything in between. What a nice trade. So I missed the top trade, but we did get this, and we're still in it. Where is my short? Are you here? There we go. So here we were adding short into. Can I have it then? Thank you very much. All right, from here. All right, this is your TP. So this is giving you like 130 odd points. If we get this washed down into here, it'd be fantastic. That would be a 232 point trade. But I think we might need to build out some liquidity before we do that. Maybe not, but ideally, like I talked about, we probably build out into this, and that might be a reshort opportunity. If we reclaim this, all right, be done with the shorts, because then it's a look below and a reclaim, and we go back into this range. All right. So I'd be looking for this add-on to come lower. Otherwise, you cut the trade. This is where we'd like to go today if we could get really weak. Here we go. So we're coming back for this move here. So let's see now if they build out liquidity into this zone for a reshort opportunity. Let's see. Let me zoom in on ES and SPY. So you'd be watching the 140s, like I said, on ES. You'd have to watch the 140s, how we act into that 140 level. And if you're trading the spiders, I mean, technically speaking, it can afford a drift right up to 709s. All right, 709s. So starting to the block, we'll see if we can lift a little higher here. There's still liquidity higher. I want buyers to get trapped before I think about anything else. Remember, it's been a very big, aggressive sell. We've left a lot of imbalances. This can move higher before it moves lower if it wants. All right. If shorts got caught at the lows, which they definitely did underneath 90s and definitely at 76s, definitely at 75s. All right. So we're going to probably come back and test value area low, previous day point of control, previous day close, those kind of levels. All right. And then if we trap buys there, we can think about another short. If we reclaim it all, then just be done with it. Lifting up into them, still liquidity higher, 60s and 50s, we'll see. Like I said, 140s, 140s, the key level on ES I'd be looking at. Still bids coming in here. Don't think the high of this moves in quite yet. Still bids flying in here. It's got a long way to reprice if it wants. This is the node here, 50s to 65s, big, big, big level. Here they go, is the 50s. If they get through this, a mega squeeze could be on. $40s, I'm watching this, so many sellers up here, just sort of pissing about at the moment. And if we reclaim it, we go back into range, remember. Big buyer stepping on the tape here at 35. So 200 lot is just trying to provide liquidity to support the bid at 35s now. Just be aware of that. Here he comes. So we're going to test him at the 35s. 200 lot. He's trying to support the bid for a move higher at the moment. So into PDC. If he does, they can try and squeeze higher and higher and higher. Don't think they're done with it yet. He's still there on the bid and he didn't even get filled. Here they go. They're going for a V shape all the way back up into here at the moment. So still no short opportunity on this move back up. They are still lifting and lifting and lifting and lifting, and into the range we go. So if we reclaim all of this, I'll be done for the day. There'll be nothing else to look at for me for the day in my mind. Look at this aggressive move. It's crazy, this tape. Right, into previous day value area high. Still, there's that buyer is still at 35s. All right, that buyer is still at 35s. It can be a look below and fail of the IB, yeah, and the value. It can, like we've talked about, it can be all of it. If we hold the print here now, we can drift right back up into New York Open. Like we've held previous day value area low. We've reclaimed previous day point of control. We're at previous day value area high. These levels now matter. Whether they're going to be willing to sell back down or they're just going to continue to scream higher. This is what matters now. They will have to make decisions here now for the day. And still the buyers are showing up. Still that guy at 35s hasn't been tested. There's still liquidity all the way up at 800s if they want to be really nasty and squeeze up there. So all these late shorts getting caught. But there was a buyer on the way down at 70. So we're testing that 100 lot buyer at 70. We'll see. These V-shapes are pretty mad the last couple of weeks. So into the 140s on ES, like we talked about, it's a massive, massive, massive level, that 140. Massive. So far rejecting off it on ES. You get through that, you're going to retest IB on the ES I'm talking about. Still they're holding these prints. Still that buyer not filled at 35. He's not moved up and he's not been filled. They're going to squeeze higher and higher and higher here by the looks of it. What a wild tape. VIX coming right back down in. It's testing its RBS zone now. It's interesting. I don't think I'm going to take anything else now. I think that's it. I think that might be it. And unless we see buyers get caught here, I think that's it. Because I don't want to trade back inside that range. I'm going to do my best to avoid all this slop. And if they come right back to the upside today, that will be an insane move. But it would not surprise me knowing what this market's been like the last few weeks. Still that buy had not been tapped at 735 though. And still they just continue to try and squeeze here. Not much excess up here on this push. They still think they've got more in it to go higher. Here they go. They're trying. Here they go. This was best cover we got. Was previous day's value area low. That was the best we got today. Yeah, still not through the 140. It's at point of control right now. Not convinced here that we're not done going higher. They're now holding inside a value area low. So value area low for the session is 55, 53, 53, somewhere around there. We're holding inside of it. So excess outside of that. Yeah, they want more higher. They're going for 800s. They're going right the way back up to where we came from. And I wouldn't be surprised to see us right the way back up here by the end of the day, knowing what we did yesterday, but we'll see. We will see. 140s again on ES, the key level. How many have we caught there? Not very many. VIX holding that RBS zone for now. I'm surprised they haven't come and gut checked this buyer at 35s before moving higher, if I'm honest. But maybe there's just too many shorts caught in it and they're just like, well, we don't need to. But I'm kind of surprised they haven't gut checked this buyer, this 200 lot at 35s to make sure he's legit. but they're still they're holding value area low on the session now. You can see this. Oh, it's so hard with the gamma levels here. You can see we're holding value area low. They're trying to lift back up into VWAP at the moment. ES poking above that 140. So if it gets above that, it's going to test its PDC and IB. Few buyers caught up in there into 70s, but I'm not convinced yet. I'm not convinced of anything yet. We're not seeing a rollover from ES. It's failed to hold a print above 140s, but we haven't seen a rollover yet. And we're holding inside a value for now. And we haven't tested this buyer, this 200 lot at 35s. So bulls sort of comfortable-ish for now. I'd say I would be more stressed if I was short in these 50s and unders at the moment than I would be bullish. So we'll just see if they come and test this buyer at, what do we say he's at? 35s, and how we act down there. Okay, this is the test of him. Let's see. So he's a 200 lot here. We can see him there at 35s. If we break him, maybe there's a perk at that point, but we're about to find out. So didn't even test him. Front ran in front of him. Coming back to test him now. 200 lot 35. Front ran him again. There's bids trying to step in front of him at the moment. So they're trying to protect that buyer at 35s. If he gets out the way, though, we're pretty thin back down. So previous day point of control is 30s. I've got it 30s on here. Let me check which one's right. I have this more like 30s. There. We still haven't checked him yet. Still haven't checked him. They're still holding in front of him. They're using him as a wall and they're protecting him. What happens if this buyer gets tagged? Well, there's potential they wash under him, but they're using him as a wall and protecting him. So we have to see what happens when we get there. Still haven't checked him. And we could build a second leg here up into this at the moment. This is the thing for the sellers where they might get caught. They can't take this guy out. QQQ holding PDC. Everything's holding PDC right now. So we're trading back inside yesterday's range or above yesterday's range right now. They would need to move underneath these 35s and be aggressive. And we're not. We're right at value. Look at this node being developed here now. All right, this is the level. All right, so if buyers can keep protecting this gray box, remember, they can try and get back to this gray box because we're in rotation. This gray box to this gray box, this gray box to this red box, this gray box to this gray box, this gray box to this gray box, back to this gray box. If they lift this, they can try and come all the way up here, which is what they're trying to do. Why? Because we're in range rotation, not just in today. Zoom out. I keep telling you guys, zoom out. Look at value for the week. All right, zoom out. Look at where we are on the week. These are your lows of the week. These are higher lows. We did put in a higher high. We're trading inside weekly value. All right. Okay, up we go. All right, into VWAPs. ES, by the way, cannot get above that 140. So massive, massive, massive divergence here. ES is underneath all of this action right now. Very, very, very different markets. Microsoft and Amazon finding a bid, rest of the market not really doing much. Very different markets here, again, as the divergence continues. 800s, yeah, I mean, like I said, if it wants to come to grey box, it will come to grey box. But this is where we broke down from. If If they get over this, everyone who was short here will be out the money, won't they? So this is where we broke down from. If sellers can't defend this, like we said, we can have a second leg. If it's a measured move, it probably takes you right back up to here, which is where we chopped earlier. And then I would not rule out a new high of day, right? That's how quickly this market can change. Stuck here at Globex, back above the New York Open. ES cannot get through the 140s. Very, very, very different markets. Very different markets right now. Do they hold this New York Open and go for more? Here's the New York Open check. Previous day value area high, sorry. Looking at the wrong blue line on my screen. So this is key now. Are they willing to hold a print above this? ES cannot get through that 140. Like, ES is so much weaker out of the two. The divergence in this market's pretty exhausting to watch because we can't get alignment of anything. VIX held the RBS and is now going back upside while the NQ just drifts higher. Make that make sense. But that's what we've got. Let me have a look at Amazon. Nope, doesn't look that great. Microsoft. Nope, failed follow through so far. If Microsoft starts dropping, it's in trouble. Oracle. What about these beta names? Nope, doesn't look that great. None of it looks that great out there. Tesla, midpoint of range. Nvidia, under VWAP. Microsoft, failed follow through so far. I don't think this looks that good so far when I'm looking at the broader names. I think there's probably failures coming. I think there's probably some failures coming. Do I consider big orders on the M&Q? No, because they're not big orders, are they? They're tiny orders because they're 1/10. Institutions are not trading M&Q. Don't care about M&Q. Oil pumping hard. Yeah, it's at value area high. Sorry, it's at its 5-day. It's coming into a block here. 89.50 up to 90.34, 35, and then it's got a gap above that on oil. But it's extended there, oil, where you are at the moment, based on the current leg of the move. Right, ES really starting to break down here. It's looking rough here on ES at that 140 like we talked about. So does NQ follow suit and come back down to these lows? That's what I'm wondering at the moment. Like I said, it didn't look good looking across the MAG. Here's PDC and value area low. If they start letting go of this, I think there might be a wash. Come and check this buyer out at the 35. So he's still there, that 200 lot. He is still there. So if we start going backside, I'll consider it, but not before. Still haven't checked out that buyer at 35s. You've got to think it's coming in this node. Once they let go of this node, you've got to think they're going to check him. Here they come. They're coming for him. They're going to say, hey, mate, are you real or not? If he's holding. Lots of buyers here. I still want to see us check this guy at 35s. I want the gut check. I want to see what he's doing. Re-enter shorts here. It's tempting. I'm waiting to see. I'm just letting this develop because we have had sellers get caught here a lot this morning in this kind of range of 40 to 55s. I want to see what happens when we flush down and then pop back up, and do we resell or just reclaim? Because I do not want to get caught in a massive squeeze. Here we come. So we're starting to come down into him. And I want to see what happens now. If we take him out and then pop back up and stay heavy, I will consider a reshort for new lows. I want to be careful because momentum's great, but positioning will not be the best. Here we come. Can we just please just see if he's real? He's real. Okay. He still hasn't been filled though. Still haven't filled him. He's just there on the book. They've not got enough size into him yet. Still haven't filled him. Seriously? He didn't get filled even a piece there. 206 still on the book there. We're going to crack him. There's no way we can front run him all day long. Come on. Want to see what happens afterwards. Here we come. Can we please fill him? Okay, big seller coming in to partner off there. So we filled him. What happens now is what's important. If we start rejecting 53s and around there, I'll be interested in a reshort. Big seller partner paired off with him, like we talked about. You don't get a deal done until you see a market sell, pair off with a passive buy, which is what we've just seen. Please don't watch the whole thing without me now. Oh, you motherfucker. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. You've got to come back up for me. All right, so I will watch sells from 36s to 52s if buyers get caught. Yes, looks good. Remember, we're in grey box here. Want to be careful. We don't, because we can still form a higher low after sweeping. So I'm watching for a pop back up to see if the buyers get caught into the levels we just sold from. Are you willing to pop back up for me? No. No, you're not. Sometimes I think naivety would be best and just fucking slam short. How about TP? I'd be paying some into this. Same levels, right? Same levels. So if you're playing the backside, you've got to be careful that they don't set a higher low here. So you'd pay some into this, and then you're looking for previous day value area low, previous week value area high, and previous day low. Right? So your runners are this. They made this too hard here without getting... All they need to do, all I needed was that or that. That's all I needed. All I needed. Yes, about to break the lows by the looks of it. So if you look at the 140 on ES, do you remember I said 140 is key? It probably needs to test that. All right, there are your flow zones. There's the 140. There's the lift. There's the pop above and fail. There's the failed follow through. That's your short on ES. A much, much cleaner move. Again. Another day of a much cleaner move on the ES. Again. All right, whereas we didn't do that. How much have I made on that trade? I'm now up just over $2,200 on the day. I'm looking to see if I can get re-involved in this. So remember, the big seller came in at 36s. Can we get involved in this for a breakdown? I really want to get involved in this. Yeah, we're going to go. These sellers are piling in down at these 710s. They're going to break. They want to break hard here. They are desperate for a break. I don't know how I'm going to get involved for this move. I would love to, because if we do break, it'll be really fun. But I've lost position here. VIX getting close to 20. Yeah, like we said, 19 to 20 is the rotation, right? Look at the RBS it held on VIX. Right, just for Confluence, for what we were talking about. Why am I typing RBS? That's my silly brain. Silly brain. All right, this is what I teach you guys all the time. Think about VIX. Right, there's your RBS. All right, resistance becomes support. Breakout, pullback, breakout, 20. Held the 19s, chopped, breakout, pullback, go. Okay, that's what it's trying to do on the VIX. See how I talk about the same? Doesn't matter what the market is, we move the same ways. All right. Range, break out of range, pull back, hold the range, extend, measured move, probably up here. Okay, same thing. It doesn't matter what you're trading. Choose your weapon, your vehicle that you like to trade. Learn to trade. Doesn't matter what you're then doing. Stocks, equities, bonds, doesn't matter. Look at NQ. Yeah, I'm on NQ. We're testing that seller. Like I said, I need to see 37s to 55, somewhere up there. Perking my interest up here. Just need a few more buyers caught in like a little push up and a few more buyers caught would be good. 35s, we have 135 buy lot. It's messy on the delta because then we've got sellers above. Here comes the 40s. Here's the squeeze. All right, I'm going to watch this as we approach 50s. I want these sellers to move down who are higher. Because there's lots of guys at 50s, 55, 60s, 65, 70s right now, and they're not moving down. They are not moving down, and we're back in this grey box transition. So this is the area where I'll think about shorting if I think there's enough caught for follow through. At the moment, I can't see it. I can just see them bid and bid and bid and bid and bid, and the book's just all bid side right now. Very fast take bid side. That guy was decent. How big's he? 114. See these passive sellers above? They're not moving down like they were earlier. We failed to break the lows there on ES as well, so this could still be a higher low. How big's you? 14s. Back inside previous day point of control. It's perking my interest here. Still, all this liquidity above to 70s makes me very uncomfortable that they're stacked all the way up there and not walking down. You would have heard me say this a lot over the last few weeks. Today, we had a seller walk down. He's gone. And they are just stacking higher, looking for drifts higher at the moment. And that is not what you want to see if you're looking for continuation. This is a slow grind up. We'll see if they reject this. This is the level. See these sellers, though, they're still 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, adding at 80s now. It's the opposite of what you want to see for follow through. So I'm not sure we're going to get it. I'm not sure we're going to get it here. There you go. It's fucking idiots. They're unwilling to put pressure on the market. This is what happens when you get unwilling participants to put pressure down. Back to this same level. The chop, grey box, held grey box, back above grey box, into PDC, into previous day value area, high above. Still sellers adding higher. No way am I playing this for downside. Did I say I don't trade M and Q? No, I said I don't look at the delta and stuff on M and Q because I'm only interested in big players. I'm not interested in M and Q. I'm only interested in reading volume on big players. You can trade M and Q, but I don't read it for direction. What are we doing here, man? These guys at 70s and 60s are still up there. They're still not walking down. I really want to join this, but they've got to walk down. They have got to come and make this offer lower instead of advertising up. And then we can get a breakdown, but not all the time they're playing silly buggers up above. There's a seller at 40 coming in. Okay, this is more interesting. Come on, Mr. 70. Come join lower. Stop being an idiot up there. No, he's unwilling. There are guys joining at 40, but they can't force the break. They're going to try again here. Previous day point of control is key. If they can force this break and I see this guy from 70 move down, I'll be willing. Here's previous day point of control. This is absolutely key. You can see the FUD on the tape here while they make their decision. There's the break. All right, small piece here. Let's just see if we can extend now. Almost didn't take that. If you come and take me back up, I'm going break even straight away. I don't care. Oh, you legend. Thank you. Right, short from previous day point of control. Just trying to see if we can get this expansion. Here we go. Right, can we get a low of day? Man, that seller at 70 is a pain in the butt not wanting to move lower. Come on. Come on. Here come the sellers. Finally. Wash this tape down. Finally. Fucking hell. You've taken so long to do it. Right, there's the sevens. Let's see if we can get lower day now. ES about to break lower day. Man, it made my life so hard this morning instead of just being kind. VIX coming into 20s. ES about to break the lows. We look good. We look good. Right, peeling some off here into this structure from earlier that we talked about. I'm going to see if we get a breakdown under this. Might get reaction from VIX at 20s here like we talked about, so be careful. They were waiting for my croissant. They were waiting for me to get my croissant. Maybe they were. All right, see why we respect structure? We respect this structure. That's why we covered some into here. Hopefully, we see this. Hopefully they don't run Alex's break-even stop out. Probably will because it's there. I haven't got much protection for it there, but that's why we're there, just to make sure I don't give back. ES, by the way, has taken the lows. So we've got divergence VIX. They are front-running 20s on VIX, so be careful, like we said. This could be the end of the auction if we're not careful. What did I study? What, at university? Sports psychology. That was a long time ago, my friend. That was 22 years ago for me when I was at uni. All right, nice. Still in this. Come on, baby. Be kind to us. Let's break down to lows. Come on, baby. If I sweet talk you, will you do it? Baby. Divergence for the ES new lower day. Come on, baby. Come on, NQ. Just be kind. Please. VIX going for 20s again. Come on, NQ. Fuck me. Like, I have to beg. Do I have to beg? You're going to take my stop at 30s. All these sellers are at 45s right now. You're going to take my stop, aren't you? Because these sellers are at 45s. Of course you are. Of course you're going to come take me out at 30s. Of course you are. 55s now. They're now willing to sell 55s. Oh, let's just advertise higher and higher to make sure Alex can't get his final TP for the day. Let's make sure Alex gets knocked out. Here we go. Runner's about to be taken out here. I'm not going to hold on above this, and I stopped break even here. So either we move lower or I get stopped out here. That's the name of the game. Mr. 55, have you just gone higher? I can't see you. No, you haven't. You've just pulled altogether. So you were spoofing. Banging on my stop here. You're banging on my stop here. It's about to take me out. Still banging on my stop. And we're out. What's the better reverses now? Back to the lows for you guys. I'm eating my croissant. Maybe it will move lower for you. But I am out. Merde. Merde. Zut alors. Ah oui, oui, market. Seriously, is it actually going to take me out again? What do we take me out by? 2 points? If we break down to new lows now, I'm going to fucking piss myself laughing. It would just be too much. It would just be too funny at this point. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a technical stop. It just went break even because I don't want to give back on the day. So that's just me being stingy. Not willing to lose money on a runner. That's all that is. Because it was a late join. Oh, here we go. Of course. Of course. Of course. Here it comes. I think we just called this a minute ago. Too stingy. It had to pop me by a couple points. The Alex Trader. Oh my god. Oh my god. Mange tu, Rodney. For you English. Oui, oui. Mange tu, Rodney. Took a bite of the croissant on the market and said, va-va-voom. You guys are on fire today. Oh, God. Right, we haven't looked today. How are we doing on the likes, folks? Are we up at 1,000 for a giveaway yet? No. Come on, folks. You had, how much was this trade? You got 140 odd points out of this, and you can't hit the like button for me. Come on. Come on. All you got to do is smash like so you can get a free Apex. Can you hear my dog just going mad? Luna! What's up with that? Coming in. Coming in. Psycho Pitbull. Alex, I've had around $1,300 today. Thank you so much for your tutelage. You're quite literally the best teacher around. Mange tu. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Very kind of you with the tip. Yeah, Luna's saying, market, get down. She's like, market, what are you doing? Luna. All right. Well, I don't feel so bad that it knocked me out now. Building out this range again. How long we got? 15 minutes till lunch. $15 till lunch. Your cat's name Luna? No, that's a good name, isn't it? Luna needs some croissant. Luna's a porky. She eats too much as it is. Let me go and grab her. Luna. Luna, what's this, mama? Luna, you want biscuit? Luna. Salad Street. There she is. Oh. Yeah. That's the mic. She the best. She the best. All right, just be careful here, folks. You're trading into value area low on the current session. Previous day point of control. These are big liquidity levels. They'll make their mind up soon what they're doing. Let me close this. She's antsy because she wants to go out. We'll still see. I still think like it's hard, right? This for me, we want to come down here, but ES has already done it. So we've got divergence at the lows. ES has already done this move. 1, 2, 3. This can be compression. All right, so if ES doesn't get this move soon, you're going to get a retracement back up because shorts are going to pile in here. Remember, 140 was the level to short if you were playing ES. This is very typical. All right. So I'd start to become less interested in the market at the moment, especially as you get into lunch anyway, right? You're coming into lunch. Biscuits, not cookies, yeah. Well, in England, we say biscuits. I know you guys call biscuits like those. I don't know what you like when you get Popeyes or whatever. They call them biscuits, don't they? In England, a cookie is basically a biscuit. Still in short. So hopefully it breaks down. I mean, you're just filling some imbalances. You just got to be careful because these sellers here keep getting absorbed, right? Once you move under that, you've got room, but these sellers here keep getting absorbed down here for now. You can see this tape here, they keep soaking the tape back up. So that's kind of your level that you need to start breaking under. There's an imbalance here down into 17s. You've got to get under that. You need to get under these imbalances, and then you've got a shot. Where am I originally from? Well, I guess, what do you mean? Heritage, or where was I born? I was born in West Sussex. I grew up in West Sussex until my teens, and then I moved to London. And then I was in London for, I don't know, 15 years or something. I've been in Los Angeles coming up, well, 6.5 years now. Heritage, I'm Lebanese, Italian, and Scottish, actually. And English, so quarter. So grandmother, grandfather, Italian and Lebanese met in Cairo post World War One, and then the other side, Scottish and England, met post World War One in the UK. No, fires didn't affect me. I saw them all, yeah, but I'm not up in the hills or the valley or anything. What took me to the US? My wife's work. Yeah, like we've just talked about on ES, right? When you see those 3 drives, right, you often get relief. Look, 1, 2, 3. It's 3 attempts to break lower. You often see this come back in. All right, once you break under here, you can think about a reshort now. But that 140 is the level, and the lows are obviously the 120. 20-point range in here. And failing to break the low here, and we respect this. That's why we respect this structure. Remember earlier we said you have to respect structure when we have a reattempt. So 2-leg, this has to be respected. You have to take profits into that because that's the market showing you that's where buyers have stepped in. I feel good about the break even now. Yeah, no, I mean, I'll be moving to LA because of work, looking at homes right now. Do you recommend any districts of LA? It depends where your work is. LA is like a motor city. It's not like you can walk or get public transport. So I would look at places around where you work, and LA is a big city. It's very expensive. Yeah, it's very, very expensive. Okay, failing previous day value area high there. We've got 10 minutes left till lunch. How are we doing on the likes here, folks? Did we make it to 1,000? Not yet. All right, so we need 1,000 likes for an Apex giveaway, 1,200 likes for a free course today. You dislike LA a lot? I mean, I'll tell you, I live in a very, very nice area. It's almost too nice, to be honest. It's that's not me taking the piss. It's like the Truman Show. Very, very clean. Very, very family orientated, which is great. But I take it for granted. And then I listened to Spencer Pratt on Joe Rogan earlier this week or last week, and I forgot how much of a dump some of LA is. And I thought, God, I don't want to live anywhere else in Los Angeles with what he was talking about. Can I explain the bar background next to the candles at certain levels? The bar background, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean. You let me know what you mean and I'll try and explain it. So you can see this imbalance still holding up for those of you who are short. The 717s, there's still an imbalance there. You're still seeing absorption on the tape at and around those levels. Under that level, you've got value area low at 700s. They're still holding on to this market right now. Lots of liquidity down to 700 if they can swipe. You can see passive players on the tape looking to get filled down to 700 if they can swipe. Here you go, into these imbalance. The imbalance now filled into 17s. Now, if they let go of this, they probably come and test 700. This is the imbalance, and they've just done a little internal stop run down here. Lived in Ventura up north, loved it. Yeah, I really like Ventura. I really like Ventura. I used to go and, well, a long time ago now, but I used to like surfing at C Street. I think it's cool. "45 minutes from Bakersfield. It's hot where you are then. At least Venice Beach was cleaned up." I mean, yeah, but still gives me the creeps walking around there in the evening once the sun goes down. Here we go. All right, so through this imbalance, the question now is, can they come and fill these guys down to 700 for those of you who are still in it for whatever reason? Obviously, I'm not in anything now. I've made my money. Again, just like I'm running this 50K account up at the moment. This is my main focus at the moment. We'll see how far we can get this one on Lucid. So I added another 1,795. So I'm up to 11,500 in that in the last 4 days. I will do a video on it. Manhattan Beach and Hermosa. Yeah, I'm right next to that. Yeah. That's where I run and cycle to all the time. El Segundo, bro. Is that on a 50K? Yeah, that's a 50K. Yeah, it's a 50K. What is the wave indicator? All right, you're talking about this. This is my flow zone. All right, so this is more than a wave. This is rolling fibs, multi-time frames, lower time frame algos, higher time frame algos, initial balance, overnight levels, and opening range and previous week levels. There's a lot in that. And then, all right, so then you've got anchored volume profile. Where are you? I don't even know why that's on. Where's that on from? Yeah, I think that's a dud. Don't know why that's on. And then Gex. That's basically it. The others are just VWAP. This is VWAP, and then Gex, and then it's just drawings. It looks like a lot. It's looked like a lot for a while because we started to condense again. But that was trade of the day here. I think we had two. We had this, and we had somewhere here. That was it. Same setups. They were looking for the same things. We have to build out as always, right? This is a good lesson. As always, I was looking for this same move earlier, all right, thinking that we would reject this range for that move. Pop failed this morning, missed the opening drive, sold it straight back off. We lacked liquidity for a further move down. So what do? Grind, 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 grind. Come and tag previous week high, GEX, supply. We know it's supply because it's what? It's where all the buyers got caught this morning. All right, it's confirmed supply as well. We moved away from it, failed, back into it, failed. Then we can think about backside once we let go. And then we use all these buyers to get down to here. And then we use these buyers to liquidate lower. And then the low-hanging fruit's gone. It's the same story every single day. It's just liquidity. It's a game of liquidity. Do I ever trade micros or minis? Yeah, I trade micros a lot. But I scale, right? So even if I have big winners, this is one of the things that I'm really focused on at the moment. With the accounts where there's no trailing drawdown and no daily loss limit, where I've built out a buffer like the one I just showed you, what you've got to remember is if I'm up if I've hit some micros, add, cover, add cover, okay, done, $700 up. All right, and then I wait, and I start putting some on here. If you remember that lift, I start adding in, and then we start breaking, and I'm adding on the way down. I can start sizing in here much more, even if it's on micros. Maybe I'm using up to 40 micros if I'm in the money. I'm not adding 40 micros here, but maybe I'm 3, breakdown 3, 5, covering in the lows, done, see if it offers a reload, and then I'm using house money, right? Where these are the accounts where I think you can have exponential growth, is when you need to trade it like house money, basically, is what I'm trying to say. You can get more aggressive leaning on trades which are going your way because you're already comfortably up. 50k accounts are underrated, totally. And I'm a guy that's numerous times gone for the 150k accounts and had some success with them, but why does it matter? Okay, you can pull out an extra $500 every 5 days or whatever it is, but really 50ks are easier to pass, they're cheaper, the RR's just as good, and if it's end of day drawdown, right, I'm now 11,500 up. So I can, if I wanted to, not that I would, but if I wanted to, I could risk 11,500 on a trade now, right? Reality is, when I start pulling more and more money out of this, chances are, I don't know when, but chances are they move it to live. I don't know if there's a trigger on a 50k at Lucid, but you hear the same thing about 25k accounts. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same story, right? Really what we're talking about with trading is return on investment. So the lower the cost of investment, you just have to trade. You have to build out room to give yourself room to breathe. Now I've got $11,500 of room to breathe. Live is good. On Lucid, I think it's good. I have not traded with Lucid live, so we will find out, I'm sure, this year. Probably sooner rather than later if I keep going on a heater like this. I can show you this account. I'll do a video on it, but where are my accounts? Funded. So I've got one more day to go. Pull this in so it fit on the screen. All right, there we go. 6,000, 2,000, 1,700, basically 1,700. All right, so nice big fat P&L curve, but basically now I've got one more day and I'll take a payout. Then we'll just see what's what. We'll just see what's what. I don't know if they've got rules of you make a max, on TPT, you make 10 grand and they move you to live. I don't know if there's a rule like that. I'll find out. You did an analysis with Apex, and I think TPT is the most cost efficient. I love TPT. Like I say, I trade with TPT a lot. Daily payouts will change your life. You start pulling, even if it's $100, $200 for you guys, you start paying yourself that daily. Watch how differently you start to trade. You will trade very differently. If you want to trade with TPT, the links are down below. Code FlowZone for TPT. All right, we're into lunch. How are we doing on the likes? Can I pull a winner here? Have you got us up to 1,000? We're like 70 likes short, folks. So 70 of you haven't smashed the like button. Just smash it now, and we'll get that done. TPT, yeah, they take 20% while you're in the pro account, but then they take 10% once they move you to live. But I mean, everyone complains about the 20%, but you're taking daily payouts, man. Like, you're taking daily payouts. What account do I choose for daily pay? They're all daily payouts on TPT. Take Profit Trader, all daily payouts. That's their main thing. So no activation fee, 40% off, code FlowZone. Get it past the buffer, take daily payouts. Nice and easy. Simple, simple, simple. All right, you're seeing the reversal now. Back into the same level. Honestly, we're going back into value. All right, so I'm going to leave you for the day. We will do a giveaway if you've got me to 1,000, but otherwise, I'm going to leave you for the day. All right, you've got me to 1,000. All right, so let's give me a second to set it up. Don't type anything yet, otherwise you won't be entered. Give me a second. All right, just type FZT once in chat. And we'll give you guys a couple minutes, and then I'll show you what I'd be looking at for the rest of the day while I leave you. But surprise, surprise, we've maintained a range. All right. Has anything changed up here? It's what you need to ask yourself. This is why I zoom out all the time. All right. Has anything changed up here? No. All right. Here's Friday's high. Look above and fail. Here's the Sunday low. Not come near it. Came near it yesterday. Printed up. We are pinned in here. We are building out liquidity in here. You want to be careful in here, right? You want to be really careful in these zones, all right? You want to be trading edge, ideally to edge, all right? And then back inside again. And if we let go, where do I think backside comes? Just like I said in the newsletter, all right? If we see something like this, especially if we see that and that, then we can think about a deeper move. That would be our H1 Pro trend short. Right, but until then, I'm sort of expecting that, to be honest. Right, so I'd love to come back into here this week because I think that would offer either a cheap buy or the backside, and that will be really nice rather than being in here. But we're going to have to get through the ceasefire, I think first. We're going to have to get details from JD and Islamabad and see what everyone wants to do. Okay, let's pull this winner then. So winner of a free Apex account is PKR Trades. Are you here, PKR Trades? Guess what ES just failed? 140. Are you here, PKR Trades? Yeah, nice. All right, congrats, PKR. All I want you to do is send me an email, please, my friend. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube. Once you do that, I will send you a code for a free Apex account. And if you're like Kate, who won yesterday, she got a free Apex account and she just passed it today. All right. And now she has, I don't know what you chose, Kate. Maybe you chose a 50K or 150K. Now she has the ability to go and take payouts. Did we get to 1,200 likes? Okay, everyone's starting to leave now. They're like, oh, I didn't win, I'm leaving. Okay, so rest of the day, let me just set you up. Rest of the day. We need to be aware of the ranges that we're in. All right, I'm going to take the gamma off here just for a minute so we can just clean this up a little bit. All right, you are currently trading inside value for the day. We are moving value down slowly, but we will watch these edges. You can see these nodes at the edges. All right, 90s. So you got 100-point range here currently, right? Inside yesterday, we are inside yesterday's previous day value area high, previous day point of control, previous day value area low. We know in here we chop. We know that. We did it already. It's told you this is what we do in here. All right. This is pinned from yesterday. Be careful trading in that range. All right. Because the market's already told you it's unwilling to show momentum lower. If there is follow through today for some reason and the market changes and we, instead of doing this, all right, maybe we see this. This will provide the opportunity to come back down to here. We've got unfinished business down here in my mind. All right, so I'd be watching if there is failures of like 660s or the edge of this range down here. If we've built out liquidity and we start rejecting point of control and we start staying heavy here, you can think about a continuation trade down to here. Just be very aware of the look below and fail move back up. And I'd be like taking your money off the table into these 560, 530s, 440s. I would be somewhat surprised if they do that today. That would be a move I think could happen later in the week, but so that you are prepared and you are away. JD's not departed to Islamabad. Really? Well, I thought he was going last night. And if that's the case, that's because Iran came out and said that they will not be sending anyone. You're right. France has not departed to Iran. That's probably because of what Iran said. So who've they sent then? This is what I mean about who knows what's going to happen. Like, who knows? We were told last night that he was leaving last night. We've been told now that he's not even gone. So who bloody well knows, folks? I don't. Only they know in the White House what's really going on. All right, just be smart. Also, I'd be watching VIX. You can set price alerts for 20. All right, above 20, it's very clear. 21, they're just whole numbers, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. But 20 is the big level, all right? 20 and 19 are your big levels, all right? You're watching that. At the moment, we're just bidding up towards 20. So be careful. I will see you tomorrow morning, all right? We'll have another go at this market. Hopefully, we move out of this range. I don't mind which side. It'd just be nice to see if we can move out of this range. Those in Discord, I will pop in a bit. I hope you made some money with me today. I will be setting a really, really, really big giveaway probably in the next couple days. All right. So I know I've talked about it a lot, but I am going to give away a computer monitor and I'm going to talk to a couple of the prop firms and see if we can get like a couple really big accounts to give away or something. I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet. We'll figure it out, but I'd like to get it up for the weekend or something like that. All right, folks, peace and love to you all. Trade safe. Use hard stops. You know the deal. Use hard stops. And I'll see you tomorrow morning, 9:15 before the open. And don't forget, use code FZT if you want to support the stream. I really appreciate that. All the money goes straight back in to promoting videos on here to help you guys. And if you're trading with TPT, use code FlowZone. I'll see you tomorrow morning.